Yeah! Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Company and Resto Pros of the Midlands. Part of the Chief Sports Network. Go Gamecocks!
He'll be fire on the mountain.
Scores! Lays it in at the buzzer! That's a win! Ball is way out of here!
5 consecutive home runs for Carolina.
It is good! It's on!
He's in. Touchdown. Williams with a throw to the plate.
He's going to score! It's a walk-off!
Touchdown, South Carolina!
It was once said that showing gratitude is one of the simplest, yet most powerful things that humans can do for each other. This Thanksgiving, our staff and contributors here at the Chief Sports Network say thank you to the listeners, viewers, our supporters, and our fans. It is you that makes us who we are, and we are thankful for all of you, your families, and your support. It is with great humility and gratitude that we wish you full hearts and stomachs, joyful thoughts and moments, and we wish you the happiest of Thanksgivings as we kick off this holiday season. As our friend Patrick Davis says all the time, we're all in this thing called life together. Happy Thanksgiving from our Chief families to yours, and as always, go Gamecocks.
That's right. Go Gamecocks. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Greetings and good morning. Welcome home. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the holiday season. And we sure are glad to have you. It is a special today from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. The morning show kind of turning into the show. JC is traveling to the Palmetto State for Thanksgiving and for the Palmetto Bowl, which will kick off on Saturday at noon. We are built by the Barndo Co. and presented by our friends at Resto Pros, as always, there when you need them. Resto Pros of the Midlands, Resto Pros Midlands, SC.com. Also, of course, Game Day Nuts. Great snack this Thanksgiving and this Christmas and this holiday season. If you're going to have them in your home, it's an easy way to keep people happy while they're waiting on the food to hit the table. You can make them yourself with the at-home kit, or you can order the starting 11, where there's 11 packs of about 6-ounce bags in there to snack on for a little while. Go to GameDayNuts.net, the official snack of our programming, and you can also find them right there on the homepage of the Chief Sports app. That is Justin Hall. He is the co-host of Four Quarter Friday. What a time for high school football. Big games coming up on Black Friday night. Now, we'll hit on a little bit of that with Justin here in a while, and then you'll get more of it, much more of it, in just a couple of days. It is a full boat today for the next 3 hours. Justin and I will be joined by Hale McGranahan coming up at 10:20. We'll talk about the game and the recruiting class and more with him. We've got John Whittle at 11 o'clock this morning. We'll get his experience from the Greenbrier, and we will talk about what is next for Gamecock football. Yesterday, the state and Jordan Kay reporting that Jeremiah Donati says no, Shane Beamer isn't going anywhere. He'll be back here next year. And so we'll get John's thoughts on that. And then, of course, the Palmetto Bowl this weekend. Matt Anderson will be in a little bit later on for a full hour. And we've also got appearances today from our buddies Stephen Garcia and Brad Crawford. So it will be a lot of fun. We'll play some buy or sell Thanksgiving style. Phil and I will do that. And then coming up towards the end of the show, we hope you're all still here around 12:55. It is our annual tribute to all of you from our families. We've done this every year on this program on this day, and we'll do it again today. So we look forward to we've been working hard on that. So we really look forward to getting that out here in just a little while. But Justin, good morning, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Not as much anticipation as Christmas Eve provides me, but I think we talked about this last week. Thanksgiving is the best holiday on the calendar. The Christmas season has already begun in my neighborhood across the street. There are 2 Bucky Beaver blow-ups, a countdown to Christmas blow-up, and my daughter's favorite is the Grinch climbing a Christmas tree along with his pal Max. So all the Christmas decor is up. Ours is starting to go up as well. And yeah, this weekend's it's a fun one. I mean, it starts tomorrow, just eating until your heart's content. We do another big family one on Friday. So our Black Friday is filled with more food and more football, and we get a good slate on Black Friday this year. The slate is unbelievable, and I'll be there with a lot of Clemson fans. We'll talk about the game. Be there with a lot of Georgia fans. They're going to get pretty quiet around 3:30 while they watch their ball game, and then Saturday, of course, is the big one in this state. And I don't care. I don't care what their records are. I was looking forward to this being a playoff play-in kind of game. I would say again, but that didn't happen last year. But it was pretty darn close. And obviously both teams are falling short of expectations. My wife's a big Tiger. Her dad's a big Tiger fan. So we watch 2 games in this household guaranteed every week, and it's South Carolina and then Clemson. So I've seen both of these teams a lot this year. And I have felt good about this game from the Gamecock perspective since about September 10th. And I don't think I'm backing off of it now. I'm pretty excited for what could come at noon on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we've got a full preview show of that coming up on Friday morning as well at 10 o'clock. The prep work is done, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that we will certainly look forward to talking about. Some of it we'll try to mix in a little bit today as well. If you're going to be watching television and kind of relaxing a little bit later on as you get your turkey prepped and a bunch of stuff ready to go for tomorrow morning, a reminder that the Players Era Tournament will be underway today at 2 o'clock out in Vegas. That means at 4:30 or right around 4:30, Duke and the second-ranked South Carolina Gamecocks will tip off at 4:30 on True TV. If Carolina takes down the Blue Devils, they'll get the winner on Thanksgiving tomorrow night of Texas and UCLA. That game precedes Carolina today at 2 o'clock, but the winners will play tomorrow night on True TV at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So we're anticipating the South Carolina women's basketball team being hopefully one of those sports that you'll be watching on Thanksgiving tomorrow night if they can get through the Blue Devils today. So a little bit of a reminder there to throw on all of your calendars. We certainly will talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving and stuff like that, but we did get some news yesterday, Justin, and we'll ease on out here in about 6 minutes to get to a timeout and get to Hale McGranahan. But Jordan Kay with the state newspaper does a wonderful job, by the way. Did report that athletics director Jeremiah Donati has confirmed, no, Shane Beamer will return in 2026 and get the opportunity to get things turned around here at the University of South Carolina. I didn't expect anything other than that. I have, look, there's been some, there's people know people, and I know that, and they get, look, we get information, we're given information all the time. Some of it is wrong, some of it changes, and you don't get it corrected before you get it back out there. It's hard to get information and source it again, then source it a third time and try to make sure that you're right. So I applaud so many people that, are trying to do their best, just people, fans, whatever, and give information. But there's been a lot of stuff that just isn't true. It's just been floating around the internet, from message boards to Twitter and all kinds of things like that. This what really wasn't much in question, to be honest with you. I mean, if Coastal for some reason upended the Gamecocks in Williams-Brice Stadium last weekend, you could probably say that they may have wanted to have one more meeting about this. But Shane Beamer really was never in jeopardy of going anywhere in 2026. So, wanted to get your quick thoughts on that.
Well, this goes back to me, back to the end of 2020 when I was doing the post game show over on WVOC here locally. The end of that year, I have enough contacts, as a lot of us do, with former players, and it appeared that was where former players wanted to go. I think Strick talked about that last week, and I was pretty vocal about Shane Beamer taking the job, and as many of us have met him on multiple occasions. A wonderful person. I feel like he's a good leader. I just think some things didn't go their way this year. The only way that he would not have been retained would have been an ugly loss to Coastal and an absolute just obliteration on Saturday against Clemson. One of those things is not happening, and I don't think the other one is either. And you don't get ahead of the ball game anymore by firing your coach midseason. Is Florida any further ahead? Is LSU any further ahead? Is Arkansas any further ahead? I mean, Virginia Tech kind of landed on a gold mine because Penn State moved, but now Penn State is no further ahead than they were when they had James Franklin. So, and you're looking at just a volatile head coaching carousel right now. Eric Morris is going to Oklahoma State, which is a big get for them. But when people would ask me in my neighborhood, or they would talk to me at church or whatever, is Shane Beamer fired? I'm like, okay, tell me the person who's better that you could get right now. Go. And I don't think there is one necessarily. And I believe he's still the right person for the job. I think it's been proven. So I'm not surprised by that move. I'm glad that Jeremiah made it a point to, all right, let's go ahead and get this out there. Let's just go ahead and say he's coming back. He's coming back. We're not moving on from him. And I think that was a positive sign. I don't necessarily believe that Jeremiah Donati's ready to make any coaching changes in his tenure either, unless his hand is forced. I think he's trying to build the fundraising side before he gets to on field and coaches. So I think the wise move, the right move, and 2026 becomes the year, right? I mean, that's going to be a very difficult offseason to deal with, I think. But it becomes the year, and you got to go out and make a solid OC hire, which I believe they will, based on what I've been told. So I think fans should be at ease with where the offense has been the last couple of weeks, and at ease knowing that there's really no turmoil, regardless of what happens on Saturday inside Williams-Brice.
Yeah, I mean, I always try to stay out of, though, and I know what you're saying. I'm not trying to bury you here, brother, but I always try to stay away from the, well, who are you going to go get stuff, because you just don't really know how things will work out. Like they absolutely go out and find somebody who at the end of the day is a better head coach at the University of South Carolina. They could also easily go out and find somebody at the end of the day who was a much worse head coach at the University of South Carolina. So I try to, I don't ever have enough information to be able to be really opinionated on things like that. But I will say this, this guy has come to South Carolina, and in the last few years has done a lot of things that haven't been done here. Now there's been some high highs and some low lows. We've seen that. And honestly, I would look at a lot of those lows, and I wouldn't even put them into this season other than the offensive debacle. I'm talking about just like individual games. Like there have been some just train wreck type games that were over in the first quarter. And you were kind of left scratching your head going, man, what are we doing here? But they found a way to get things back on track. He has been able to do that. It's just keeping them on track. But he's Jeremiah Donati's mind, who did give him an extension earlier this year. For those that think that was Ray Tanner, once again, you're wrong. It was Jeremiah Donati that gave him the extension. He has earned the right to get it fixed. Now, look, the down the road scenario here, and we'll talk to Hale about this in just a little bit. This is what is always curious when you've kind of got a make or break season ahead and everybody knows it. What happens on the recruiting trail? How difficult is it to go sign kids, good quality football players from the high school ranks down the road? So in this case, it would be the 27, 28 classes. How apprehensive are they to hitch their wagon, to your program, because they don't know if you're going to be there. And a lot of the reason that they don't know that isn't necessarily because of people like us. It's because of the other coaches that walk into their living room to recruit them. And they say, well, you might want to pay attention over there. You know, if they don't play well, that guy's out. Whether it's true or not, those guys don't know, but that's part of the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I think that that's really where it kind of squares itself off for Coach Beamer is, you know, he while he's given some grace and he's going to have another year at South Carolina, and I personally believe he deserves. How do they hold the future of this thing intact without like having a bounce back year, but then not being able to sustain that because of what's going on right now? Like a lot of the residual effects that happened down the road were 2 and 3 years in the making, right? So that will be a big, you know, talking point. Guys like Hale, who talk to players and their families and stuff like that all the time, you know, I'll be curious to see what he's got to say about it, and and we'll see. But you know what? Here's the deal. As we go to break here, Justin, if you know, we turn the page and we're in the spring of next year in the summer and you're looking at really good recruiting classes at South Carolina, you'll know that somehow, some way they have found a way to cut through all that stuff with the players that they're after. And then it'll just come back down to results on the field. So we'll step aside. Reminder, it is Black Friday week at Gamecock Traditions, where you've got 50% off of, you know, I don't know, like everything, basically. Cutter and Buck sports cocky polos, those are 30% off. All New Era hats are 50% off. Sideline collection, 50% off. Short sleeve tees, buy one, get one, 50% off. And all jerseys are 50% off as well. We have to pay Hale McGranahan 100%, though, and he'll join us next when we return.
Hey, this is Cornbread Cowboy, and you're listening to the show. We'll be right back.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture are proud supporters of our Gamecocks. We have been making and supplying the highest quality outdoor furniture you can find for almost 5 decades. If you use your outdoor space to watch the Gamecocks, make it the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com or visit one of our 4 locations in South Carolina. Go Gamecocks!
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
It's football season. The Barn Dominium Company wants to help you build your dream home with your dream space to watch the games and entertain your friends and family. Make your dream a reality. Visit thebarndominiumco.com. That's thebarndominiumco.com for floor plans, photo galleries, locations, and to learn more about us.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to ITG.
The Palmetto Bowl, the shining star of the Palmetto State. No one day each year receives as much love, as much hate, as much discussion, as much disagreement. No one day matters more than this one. Every year, late November, everything that has happened to this point, it matters, but not on this day. What happens in this game? That's the conversation. It tilts the way everything is viewed for 1 year. For bragging rights, for pride, for respect. It's Clemson. It's South Carolina. For the 122nd time. In Williams-Brice Stadium.
Option, keeper, touchdown, Gamecocks.
Lenore Sellers going left side. Touchdown, Lenore Sellers.
All right, 10:24. Welcome back inside the Gamecocks Morning Show. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and thank you so much for spending your Thanksgiving Eve with us. Powered by friends at Electric Bikes of Charleston. We all might need one of those after eating tomorrow. That's for sure. Good morning, Hale McGranahan. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. Hope you guys are too.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, brother.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, we obviously we'll ask you some Thanksgiving stuff coming up here in just a little bit, but we do have coordinators today, and I tell you what, man, I think we have you last week right before the coordinators, or was that the day after? It was before, right?
Day after.
It was the day after. Yeah. And remember how refreshing it was to talk about Mike Furry and like how he addressed all of you in that room. It did. Does that give you a little excitement to get back in there today and be able to pick his brain about the 51 points and how they scored them this past Saturday?
A little more energy in the room when he's behind the podium compared to Mike Shula, that's for sure. But got to be who you are, and Mike Furry's. I don't want to say Mike Furry's him. I don't want people to misconstrue that. But Mike Furry is his own man, and he's certainly a fun guy to talk to. I'll say that, whether it's in an interview setting or just shooting the breeze. He's fun to talk to always.
What is there to be said in your mind about the fact that finally, 11 games into the year, they did what they were supposed to do in that football game?
I mean, I thought it really all along the season. I shouldn't say all along through the season, but at the point when I guess maybe about midway through the Shula era, when it was like just really a slog and we're all wondering what the heck can be done to try to fix it, I kind of cooked up in my mind, and I'm certainly not a X's and O's wizard and like a big film review guy by any stretch of the imagination, but just from watching the games and in person and going back and looking at stuff after the fact, I'm like, why don't they get the ball on the perimeter more to some of these playmakers who are pretty good run after the catch types? That seemed to me as a simple fix. And I remember several weeks ago when I was waiting to get on with you guys, and Justin, you were saying something pretty similar to that. Is like, why aren't they throwing screen passes? Like it's just a simple way to help out a lot of what the ills were.
Yeah.
Whether Lenore Sellers having trouble being consistent as a passer, or the offensive line struggling to protect him. or the running game not really being on track consistently. Like it seemed to me like that was a very simple way to try to help get some of those things functioning and moving in the right direction. And obviously we saw it on the first play of the game last week.
We had Drew Marlowe, South Florence's head coach, on with us guys in our preview show back on August the 15th, talking high school football. And I asked him pointedly about Jaden Sellers, because we watched Jaden in that high school championship game last year and thought, oh my word, this kid's amazing. And I asked him what sets Jaden apart. And he said, and I quote, every time he touches the ball, he can score. And I'm not joking. He's that fast. He's that gifted in the open field. And that just rang in my head for the next 10 games, going, what's happening on this field that they can't get the ball out in space to guys who are either Olympic track level speed or very fast game speed. And it was refreshing to see a 75-yard catch and run screen pass on the first play of the game last week. I thought, okay, there's the difference right there.
Well, and real quick, Hale, before you say anything, this has happened 2 weeks in a row with Mike Furry, where it's get the ball in space to a playmaker and let him make a play. Nick Harbor turned one into 80 yards the week before. You don't have to throw the ball 60 yards down the field to have a 60-yard gain, right? Like sometimes, Hale, you've said this. We've all said it. All the guys that are on our show every week. Why don't you just get them open and let them figure it out from there? They're playmakers. That's what they're here for. And now we've seen it a couple of times in the last 2 games. Go ahead, Hale. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no. I mean, I was going to reference that Nick Harbor touchdown.
My bad.
No, you're good. Like he's a big body guy, and you want to try to get him downfield using that speed for sure at times. But, there are other times when you can just try to get the ball in his hands as simple as possible and let him go fall forward for a few yards, because he's 6'5" and runs, and not only runs fast, but he runs hard and is physical and is not like a prototypical track guy by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination, but it seemed pretty simple to me.
Yeah.
Plus with Jaden Sellers, like talking about his high school career, I think it was probably at some point last year, maybe, when I was watching him. I'm like, man, if this guy could just be a little bit bigger, he could be a running back. Like, he's that good with the ball in his hands and making people miss and running through contact and all that stuff. He's just not he just doesn't have the body type for that position.
Yeah, he's explosive.
Well, it's interesting you brought up running back, right? I don't know what your plans are today with Coach Furry and the coordinators when you are, but I mean, we've seen some different personnel usage in the last couple of games, and that starts with Juwan Howell. I mean, the kid didn't play. I'm curious. I mean, I if Shane Beamer's watching this, hope he knows I don't mean any disrespect to him. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say it in a jerk way, especially around Thanksgiving, but like, okay, I get it. He's practicing better, but why? Did simplification allow him to play better? Did he all of a sudden just the light just magically came on when Mike Furry and Sean Elliott were named co-OCs? Like, what is really the underlying reason why Juwan Howell wasn't seen for 2 months, and now all of a sudden we're watching him play and going, where the hell's this kid been since August 31st?
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you for sure. But if we go back and look at it, so Rasul Faison, that whole deal, like, they were obviously heavily invested in him coming into this season. I get that. I get why he had his crack as the top guy. Oscar Attaway was the head of Jordan Howell going back to last year. Isaiah Augusta, I feel like I say his name wrong every time. He had an awesome August preseason camp. Was one of the top performers. Like, his name came up a lot. He made a bunch of plays. So he was the number 3 guy coming into the season. Then Matt Fuller gets his shot eventually this season and does some good things. So, there were just guys ahead of him. I don't know if there was any one particular reason why Jawarn Howell was number 5 on the list, but if you go back and just look at how things played out and what we do know, I mean, I get it. Like I can't be too critical of it. I think it's good they finally gave him a shot, because clearly out of those 4 guys who were ahead of him, like none of them have really been particularly consistent by any stretch.
Yeah, and look, there's only so many carries to go around, especially if you're trying to run the football with your quarterback. You know what I mean, right, Hale? Like they can't all get 15 carries a game. You'd never throw it. This isn't Navy. So I get it. I mean, I totally understand it. I'm just curious as to like what in the last 2 or 3 weeks, like not just the paintbrush broad stroke answer of, well, he's been practicing better. Yeah, but why? Like why is that? What brought that on? And I would imagine if somebody is going to give you some detail on that, it would be a guy like Mike Furry. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
perhaps, or I mean, maybe the answer is like kind of what I just said is like, none of the other 4 guys are really doing anything super awesome, so we figured we might as well give Jawarn a shot. I mean, it could be as simple as that.
You're right. It absolutely, the old Steve Spurrier. I don't know, give the next guy a chance. I agree with you, Hale. And if that's the case, and that's the case. And to be clear, also something you said a minute ago, and you're exactly right. Like, you don't have to give props to a guy like Howell and then throw cold water on a guy like Faison. Like, I don't personally believe that the system that Faison was playing in was very good for him. I think if Rasul Faison was playing in something that was more catering to his strengths, I think he'd be having a really, really special final year of college football. But I just think like a lot of these guys, they were in spots, and some of them obviously they didn't perform well, missing holes and things like that. Like that's on the player. I got it. But overall, at the end of the day, also, like I'm not so sure that they weren't square pegs and round holes more often than not. So, but we are where we are, and it's Clemson and Carolina this weekend, and that's all in the past now. We can move past that, I guess.
Yeah, here we are to 3 days beforehand. Let's move onward and upward, I guess.
Let's go back to the LSU game and break down the play calls.
Oh God, no!
All right,
that wasn't even the play calls. That was just the offensive line, in particular the center, making mistakes over and over again.
We saw another one of those last week. All right, we have seen enough of Clemson this year. They're having a down year, just like the South Carolina Gamecocks are, but they are capable of beating teams, and just like the South Carolina Gamecocks are. I think it's hard to argue, even with the injury of Jaheim Lawson last week. Did you see Dabo take ownership in that the other day? He should have been on the field. That's on me. And now his season is over. But even with the loss of the backup defensive end, who was second on the team in sacks, that front 4 is really, really good. They're really, really, really talented. They're all going to go to the NFL. So when you look at that matchup against South Carolina and where they've come up front on the offensive line, what do you see this weekend?
I think it's as simple as blocking those guys up front that you're talking about and trying to figure out ways to get some matchups with some of those guys in the secondary, because there are some exploitable opportunities there for the taking if Mike Furry can get to them. One of them is against Ronan Hannafan, I think he's number 5, who he only played like 9 snaps against Louisville. So part of me wonders if he's going to play that much against South Carolina. But he is a guy that you would want to try to attack in coverage in any way, shape, or form. He's a safety, so he's probably going to be matched up with tight ends and running backs. If you can get him on a running back, that would be ideal. Then another one is Khalil Barnes, number 7, another safety who he's not the surest of tacklers in space. And if you can somehow get him isolated in these one-on-one situations we were talking about earlier on the perimeter, that's that's something that if I'm Mike Furry, that I'm hunting for opportunities to try to find those situations. So to me, it's very elementary. Block up front and go find some matchups in their secondary, because they're beatable that back there. And I think we probably can just look at that Duke game that they had and see what happened that day, and think that South Carolina is very capable of doing that, as long as they can give Lenoris a little bit of time.
From a recruiting standpoint, Hale, it's a big weekend. Give us a summary on that, as far as who is in and who is out.
Well, as far as who is in, Carson Baker is the big name right now, the 2026 running back from the Atlanta area, who's been committed to Florida since June. He's taken an official visit, and he's been a guy that has been at the very top of that running back board, high school running back board for Carolina, since he got offered. I don't even remember what it was. It might have been almost 2 years by now, but he was a priority guy for the staff, and he commits to Florida, and then obviously they're going through a coaching change, moving on from Billy Napier. So he's opened things up, and he's still committed, but he's looking around. Kentucky and North Carolina have hosted him for official visits. Georgia Tech's involved, but Carolina's going to get the last say before signing day. So big opportunity there for sure. And then the 2027 class is shaping up to be a pretty loaded group, as we've seen several times throughout the season. A bunch of in-state guys. Seth Tillman, the defensive lineman from South Point. The guys from Irmo, Jaden Bryant, Nate Carson. It's going to be Trey Segarra, Aiden Gibson, the two running backs from Spartanburg County. Some out-of-state guys, Kennedy Green, a safety from Douglasville, Georgia. It's going to be a good group, and I think we'll have plenty of coverage on all that coming up on the Big Spur as we get closer to Saturday.
Justin and I were just talking a little bit ago about Jeremiah Donati and Jordan Kay's report from the state newspaper yesterday that, Donati confirming, no, Shane will be back in 26. But how does that affect recruiting in your mind, Hale? You're the recruiting guru. You've covered teams whose coach has essentially, I don't know, man, next year they're going to have to, it's make or break. How does that affect things when you know that other staffs are walking their soldiers into these doors and explaining to dudes who might be committed or committing or close to committing to South Carolina that, I don't know that I'd do that. Maybe Shane Beamer isn't going to be there in 2027 and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal for pretty much all these guys. Fans want players to commit to their school because it's their school, and fans know that coaches come and go and all that, but it's the coaches who are forming these relationships with the guys, and it's their job to help recruit them and tell them why the school is the best place for them. So it's only natural for those personal connections to have significant weight in these decisions. And obviously there are other factors, but that's a big part. I mean, if you look at a guy like Julian Walker, for example, who they're trying to flip from Michigan, and obviously his dad's on the staff here at Carolina, but if he's considering Carolina but doesn't know if A, his dad's going to be working there, or B, that it's going to be Shane Beamer as the head coach, or C, Sterling Lucas is going to be around as the defensive ends coach, like that, it probably gives him, and I'm just using him as an example, it probably gives him some significant pause to like, well, maybe I should just stick with Michigan because I know that staff isn't going anywhere, anytime real soon. So,
right.
That's a part of it. And now that it appears that we have something concrete, or let's say Shane Beamer and his staff has something concrete to point to, is like, hey, we're going to be around next year. Then maybe that can help get through the finish line with guys like Julian Walker or Carson Baker or whoever else they're trying to close the door on or get through the finish line on in 2026.
Man, it's so important to get some of those running backs in this state. Justin, you cover them every week on Four Quarter Friday. There are some big names, and there's a lot of people that will be anxiously watching those dudes to see where they go. All right, I got something funny for you. Thanksgiving question. Get you out of here in the next minute.
All right.
Hale, I have been this reminds me every year. I guess this is because, 2020 happened, so I guess this would be like my 10th one. But I have been going through game notes since 2014 because I've been hosting preview shows since 2014 for South Carolina, either at ESPN or here, right? So I've been going through opposing teams' game notes for 11 years. That's a lot. 11 times 12, 13 games a year. It is. Have y'all ever gone through the Clemson game notes that they supply you before they play?
Not since I covered Clemson, though.
No.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever noticed that the first 37 pages are all how great we are success story style notes from their SID's office? I mean, they went as far as to count all of the days that since they have led the series between South Carolina and the Tigers, like the third time they ever played, like 1903 or something like that. They have every note. You don't even, these aren't even stats. 37 pages of this. I'm like, man, you don't have to say anything, Hale. But if there's not a more self-absorbing group of people out there, I've never seen anything like this. Like, just get to the crap that we need. It is baffling. But
South Carolina only thinks about Clemson, by the way, in case you're interested.
Yeah, that's apparently. I mean, 37 pages of propaganda. I get some of promoting yourself and your successes. Carolina has the same stuff in their game notes. Yeah. It ain't even anywhere near 37 pages worth of stuff. That's number one. Number two, are you a cranberry sauce or cranberries guy in Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, see, I'm not.
You're not, JB?
Nah.
Wait, Hale, fresh cranberry sauce or from the can?
No, fresh is definitely better, but I'll get down on the can if that's around. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go. The can is good for the side. I'll take the fresh on top of the turkey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not eating it by itself. It's helping me get that turkey down.
That's fair.
It is.
You need to put some sweet Jesus on that turkey and then make it a lot more palatable. See what I did there, JB?
Well done. Yeah, ours is brining in it now. Do you make anything for Thanksgiving, or do you just sit back, you're just watching football, and whenever they call you in, you go eat?
I mean, I can cook a little bit, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing to help cook food this year. You know, we're hosting at my house. So we got a bunch of people coming in, and I'm probably going to be busier just keeping my daughter entertained while my wife does the majority of what we're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, look, man, we're very thankful for you and for everything that you do in covering the University of South Carolina. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and hopefully you get a day off with nothing to worry about, and then back to it on Friday.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and happy Thanksgiving to y'all too.
Absolutely.
Hale.
Thank you, buddy. There you go. Hale McGranahan with the BigSpur.com. All right, Justin, we'll step aside for a timeout, and we'll come back and we'll get a few things in before we wind down our number one, our Thanksgiving special inside the Gamecocks, the preview show built by the Barn Dominium Company. We'll be right back.
Fans, listen up. The official Chief Sports apparel store is extended until December 3rd on the Chief Sports app. Quality gear, including Nike apparel, shipping within 2 days of ordering. Men, women, and children can choose from a variety of Chief Sports products this holiday season. Order now in the Chief Sports app. Available until December 3rd.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture are proud supporters of our Gamecocks. We have been making and supplying the highest quality outdoor furniture you can find for almost 5 decades. If you use your outdoor space to watch the Gamecocks, make it the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com or visit one of our 4 locations in South Carolina. Go Gamecocks!
At JT's Kia, we have a lot to be thankful for.
We're especially thankful for the customers we get to know and serve.
We have additional inventory we have to move, and that means savings we haven't been able to offer in over 3 years.
Get a new Kia Sportage reduced $5,000.
New Kia Sorrentos, new Kia Carnivals reduced $7,000. Get 0% for 72 months.
We're serious about saving you money.
And we're seriously thankful for our customers.
Happy Thanksgiving, JT's Kia.
Season of New Tradition sales event.
Remarkable, 5-star, sensational. These are just some of the terms used to describe nationally renowned chef William Turner out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Originally from Georgetown, South Carolina, and a diehard Gamecocks fan, Chef Will made his way out west and has served parties from every state and many countries from across the globe. Visit chefwilliamturner.com to inquire about private events and more. Food from every culture, all of it first class. chefwilliamturner.com and Chef Will Turner on socials. You won't believe what you see. You really won't believe how it tastes.
Home fitness has evolved. With Matrix, now there's no limit to the ways you can chase your goals. It's time to make your next workout whatever you want it to be. You can use all of your subscriptions or none at all. Take on exclusive HIT programs or move through immersive HD destination footage while you sweat.
Visit charlestonfitnessequipment.com.
All right, then 50, final segment, hour 1. There's Mad Dog in for Justin. Justin actually had to run a little bit early, so that's okay. John Whittle is coming up. Matt Anderson will be here. Stephen Garcia will be here. And Brad Crawford will be here today on the morning show. We'll go till 1 o'clock this afternoon with no show following us from noon until 2 p.m. JC is traveling, so our Thanksgiving special will air for 3 hours. And then, of course, the preview show will be back on at 10 a.m. on Friday. A special thanks to our friends at Palm Casual for keeping our back patio and outside areas as special as they can be. And, Phil, as we've talked about this week, you know what's coming. It's coming. We just mentioned cranberry sauce. You're going to have, your nephew or your daughter or somebody like that. They're going to be eating on your back porch this Thanksgiving, and they're going to spill their plate, and that cranberry sauce is going to get on your patio furniture, right? And it's going to ruin it. And then you're going to have to get new stuff. And so your first thought is going to be, well, let's go to Amazon and see what's out there. And then if you make the mistake of buying it, in about a year, you'll replace it again. So use the cranberry sauce incident as an opportunity to upgrade your outdoor space, like we all have. Go to Palm Casual, one of 4 locations in South Carolina. If you're watching or listening to us down in the Sunshine State, they're everywhere. That would be in Florida. And, of course, over in Georgia, up in Wilmington, North Carolina, Palm Casual is the best outdoor patio furniture that you can find. Numbers, again, we'll go over a lot of this in the preview show. But, aside from all the Shane Beamer stuff and things like that at South Carolina and all the conversation that has been had over the last, month or so, especially since things kind of got away from the Gamecocks this year, important facts about the game and why it's important for South Carolina to not only win this game, but win this game in Williams-Brice Stadium. As I pointed out the other day, Phil, I think we all know that they've lost 5 in a row against the Tigers since 2013 inside their home ballpark. Like, that can't happen, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that you went up there twice in the last couple of years or last 3 years and beat them, you have got to defend your turf. Since 1975, Clemson is 18-7 against South Carolina at Williams-Brice Stadium. That can't happen. I mean, you've got to defend your own. Carolina hasn't won 3 of 4 in this series, aside from the 5 in a row since 1968 to 1971. This is a great opportunity for that to happen this weekend. For the first time in 15 years, Clemson isn't ranked coming into this game, which is it's interesting, like how the spread has flipped this week. I was going over some numbers that, again, we'll get a little bit more into on Friday. Tigers walk in with a better record. Phil, clearly they're going to a bowl game at 6-5 right now, and South Carolina is not going to a bowl game. And you always have these conversations, like AC said the other day about who Texas A&M had played. They basically have played everybody at the bottom of the league except for Kentucky, I think, right?
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah,
Kentucky, and maybe I don't know if they played. Did they play Mississippi State? I think they did, but
pretty sure they did. Mm-hmm.
But anyways, like the SEC record for teams that A&M has played overall is like 11-31 or something like that. It wasn't. Maybe I was going into last weekend. It wasn't very good. And JC made the point. He's like, wouldn't it have been nice if you didn't have to play Oklahoma or Alabama? You drew, Auburn or Arkansas or Mississippi State. And I'm thinking, yeah, in theory, that's nice. But Carolina couldn't score any points the large majority of the season. Arkansas can score points. I don't know that I would have wanted to see Arkansas. Mississippi State can score points. I'm not so sure that I would want to see Mississippi State. Like, if you give up 25, that's pretty good against those teams that average 40. Problem is you couldn't score 25.
No.
So but then you look at the ACC, and the league's not good. Like, the average defense first of all, the best defense that Clemson has seen this year was a team out of the SEC. It was game 1, LSU. I'm going by the rankings here. They've faced 3 defenses ranked lower than 100. The average defense that they've played is 72. And you take that, and then you look at South Carolina, they played 5 defenses inside the top 25 with an average defensive ranking of 32. Now, I'm not excusing the record. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Carolina they've created their own issues. But when you look at the records, and then you look at, like, somebody mentioned to me the other day, like, man, I can't believe the Gamecocks are favored. They're only 4-7. I'm like, okay, well, look at the 4-7 versus the 6-5 and who they had to go through to get there, and that'll help you understand a little bit more of why there are bettors out there who think that South Carolina should win the football game on Saturday and break all these streaks that they've got going right now. Those all need to go away.
Yeah, I mean, it's silly to even argue at this point. Like, better. I mean, if all you're looking at are records, then I don't know. Maybe you're on the playoff committee. But
look at Florida and Florida State. Gators are favored over the Noles. Florida's won 3 games.
Yeah, it's a completely different league. Like the SEC and Big Ten are the 2 premier football leagues. Period. I mean, full stop. You're hanging your hat on scoring 41 points against Boston College. It's like, yeah, well, we lost to Duke. Who's going to compete for who has a shot at winning the ACC title, thus locking the ACC more than likely out of the playoff. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah, I mean, there is no equivalent to competition here. Ain't played nobody in the ACC looks like Texas A&M. Ain't played nobody in the ACC looks like, well, everybody in the ACC this year, because there are no real good teams in the ACC this year.
No, I think there's no elite teams. That's for sure. Like I think coming into the year, we thought that Clemson was elite. I never really bought the Florida State stuff. Like I thought that they had a chance to be a lot better. And remember in the summer, I kept telling everybody, not this is about me, but Alabama needs to be careful here. Like I'm telling you, you're opening this ballpark. You haven't had it half full in well over a year. They're going to be all fired up. Castellanos has done it all by him damn self. That's what that was his quote. It just seemed like the energy going into that game really favored the Noles. And then when they won the game, you thought, well, I don't know, maybe Florida State. And then, of course, Miami comes out firing on all cylinders. Then Carson Beck kind of turns back into Carson Beck. So it's just kind of teams who were there. You know what I mean? Just kind of teams who were there. And it gave these other guys, like Georgia Tech's having a great year. Honestly, congratulations to Virginia and Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh having nice seasons. Like having really, really, really nice seasons. But, if they had to go through yesterday's Clemson or yesterday's Florida State or what people thought Miami was supposed to be, they wouldn't be where they are either. They'd be having pretty good years, but not good years. And just kind of is what it is. But, it was interesting kind of taking a peek at all that stuff. Coming into this ball game, a reminder too, though, and to give Clemson a lot of credit, like they can beat, like if it's all clicking for those guys, they've got some major injuries right now, and I know that. Which is the baffling conversation about them. It's like, man, these guys, they are really good. They're really good, but somehow they're only 6-5.
They're a dangerous team for sure.
Well,
you can be when they're fully healthy and rolling.
I'll say this: you can, between both of these teams, Phil, you can circle. I would bet you can circle all levels from freshmen to basically grad seniors, whatever you want to call it. I would say you could probably circle at least 20 guys. I know you can circle at least 20 guys. You'll look in the NFL in like 3 years, and you'll look back at this game, and you'll go, "How are those two teams 6-5 and 4-7?"
I know.
All those dudes were on the field at the same time playing each other.
I know.
Crazy.
It is nuts. It's a lost. It's the lost season, right? I mean, we all know on our side what happened. It's well documented. It's been immediately fixed. It's hard to say what the deficiencies weren't. When it comes to Carolina. So, and that makes it hurt even worse, man. Because as close as you were in some of those games that we were close in the fourth quarter, and I know it's nobody wants to hear it because it hurts so bad. But it's true. I mean, if you had any sort of competency on offense through the first 10 games of the season, then this would look a lot different.
All right, 11 o'clock. Whittle up next.
Welcome to Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions. Basement crawl space encapsulation designed for your specific needs. Your crawl space can be susceptible to all sorts of issues, including moisture buildup, mold growth, and structural damage if not cared for properly. Let our trained experts provide basement crawl space encapsulation solutions to protect your home, improve air quality, and enhance energy efficiency. Schedule your consultation today for a safer, healthier space at dryspacecs.com. Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions, proud supporters of your South Carolina Gamecocks.
Oh, man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
Welcome to SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube channel, and on our X accounts. Hosted by Rob Williams and Craig McMichael, talking the week that was and what's to come in the SEC. Join us every week for SEC Sunday Night on the Chief Sports Network.
It's football season. The Barn Dominium Company wants to help you build your dream home with your dream space to watch the games and entertain your friends and family. Make your dream a reality. Visit thebarndominiumco.com. That's thebarndominiumco.com for floor plans, photo galleries, locations, and to learn more about us.
Morning, Carl. Usual?
Yeah.
Your oldest was in here the other day. Said the two of you took a trip down to my neck of the woods. How'd that go?
You might as well give me one of those Carolina cars while you're at it.
I knew I liked that one.
Yeah.
There you go, my friend.
Thanks.
Hey, Carl. Congratulations.
See you tomorrow, Freddie.
You bet.
Tune in every Friday at 9 a.m. to the 4 Quarter Friday High School Show on the Chief Sports Network. Visit GameDayNuts.net and order yours today. Boiled peanuts, no shells. Official tailgate snack of ITG. You're tuned into Hour 2 of Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show. Presented by the Barn Dough Company and Resto Pros of the Midlands. Go Gamecocks!
With a little love and some tenderness, we'll walk upon the water, we'll rise above the mist. With a little peace and some harmony, we'll take the world together, we'll take them by the hand. 'Cause I got a hand for you. I said get up and let me see you smile. We'll take a walk together, walk the road a while. 'Cause I got a hand for you, I got a hand for you. I wanna run with you, won't you let me run with you? Hold my hand, want you to hold my hand.
It is 11:05. It is Hour 2 inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, built by the Barn Dominium Company and presented by our friends at Resto Pros, who are always there when you need them, just like John Whittle of thebigspur.com. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. How are you?
Happy Thanksgiving to you. It's just you. Did we scare off the other guys? I never know who's gonna be with us when I pop up.
I don't either. For what it's
Glad
worth.
to keep you on your toes.
Hey, there's Phil.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, John.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
You too. You too. Sometimes we got Rob. Sometimes we got Mike. We always have Phil, whether we see him or not, which I love.
Right. Phil's always lurking. He pops in for his glad you got to see me moment, and then he pops out. Yeah, see?
There he
Look
goes.
at that. Look at that. Yeah, no, we've had obviously some things shifting around this week with the holiday tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
enjoy the day off.
Hey, look, I kind of, yeah. Oh, thanks for gifting that to us this Thanksgiving, John. I appreciate not catching any grief from you for wanting to eat with my family and relax for once. You know, it means a lot. I didn't take Labor Day off. I was traveling on Labor Day. If you want to give somebody grief, give it to JC. He's not working today.
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I do. That's why he never has me on his part of the show anymore.
Well, it sounds like a JC problem. I mean, we're better when you're on. So, today JC's not on Friday, the preview show. I mean, but we filled his spot with Perry Orth, so we'll be fine. We'll get to Clemson and Carolina in just a moment. You got an article up on the Big Spur I would encourage everybody to check out as well. But I do want to get your feedback. I guess it'd be feedback and thoughts or whatever it is of your experience up at the Greenbrier last weekend. Gamecocks, 0-2, but overall the experience of that event.
Well, for me, I enjoyed it. It was like a throwback in time with looking at just being at that place. It's enormous, so much going on up there. Wonderful setting, very odd for a basketball game. Of course, I did go to the Cancun shootout or whatever it was back in, I think it was 17 or 18. I think it was 18, and that was played in a ballroom as well. So that wasn't my first ballroom basketball. And I also refereed church league, when I was younger. So it was all kind of a similar feel in terms of venue. But no, for the Gamecocks, I mean, I felt like if you went down there and went 1-1, you accomplished what you needed to. But going 0-2 is not ideal for this team's future. You've got 4 really good, or at least quality, non-conference opponents. I felt like you really needed to beat 2, and the margin for error is gone now. You got Virginia Tech at home, and you got to go on the road to Clemson here in a few weeks. But hopefully, you have taken some experience from playing 2 pretty good teams and can learn from it and build upon it, because South Carolina was in both of those games until the end. But as we saw in football season, but probably more importantly saw last basketball season, just being in games doesn't equate to wins. You have to figure out how to win some, because if you don't win any, you just become losers. And that's what happened with last year's basketball team. And, you don't want that to happen to this year's basketball team. So got to figure out a way to win a couple of those tight ones you did against Southern Miss, but you're going to have a lot better teams than Southern Miss going forward.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I 100% agree. I thought 11-2 was a very attainable record going into the SEC. And to do that, you would need to win 2 of the 4 that you're referencing there, John. And now their backs are against the wall. Not saying that they can't. They can. They didn't get blown out of those games, but they did have 2 sets of problems, at least. They had some more, but 2 glaring sets of problems. Let's put it that way, right, John? One, in game 1, they were bullied around the court, top to bottom. I mean, it was – I thought it was – and I know Lamont wasn't happy. I thought it was embarrassing, to be quite frank. And then against Northwestern, they had that great run to get it tied up before losing basically at the buzzer, but they just couldn't hit open shots. I mean, this is a team that they don't have any choice. As many threes as they shoot, John, they're going to have to knock the ones down that they're just staring at the rim and nobody's in their face. And I think they were almost over on that. So those 2 things, you clean one of them up, you win one of them. But those were the 2 most glaring issues, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And how much you cleaned up the rebounding is still a little bit to be determined.
Right.
When Northwestern played Virginia, they got out rebounded by 24 by Virginia. So, the fact that South Carolina out rebounded, Northwestern by 5, I mean, it's certainly a good thing, but, is that kind of like blowing out Coastal Carolina? I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know what to take from the shooting experience down or up in West Virginia. I mean, those, we heard coming out of of practice on Thursday that the rims up there were tight. And, South Carolina certainly wasn't the only team to say something about it and have struggles with it. So, what do you take from that? Do you take that South Carolina is not going to be nearly as good of a 3-point shooting team as we thought? I mean, they struggled at home against Radford too, and weren't great against PC either. So do you take from it that, this is becoming a trend that South Carolina is not knocking down enough open jumpers? Or is it, the fact that, the rims were different, you're playing in a ballroom in a tough setting? I don't know what the answer to that is. I guess we'll figure that out over the course of the coming games. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There were certainly some obvious, very big shortfalls for South Carolina up there. You hit on a couple, but there's certainly a lot more. I mean, you worry about the post presence in general, both offensively and defensively coming into the season. And, it looked bad to me in a lot of ways up there. You did have a bright spot. I thought Jordan Butler played well up there and looked like a guy who can give you high caliber minutes when he's on the court, but he's also going to have to be on the court a little bit more too, I feel like. So, it's an evolving team, but you have to win games along the way. They've done well in terms of winning games against the bad competition, but they got to win games along the way too against some of the good ones.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to come to me for expert basketball analysis, but I do know this. If you're a big man and you're underneath the basket and you get the ball, act like you expected it. I mean, there are too many times they get the basketball, they turn around, it's like, oh my God, nobody's around me. What am I supposed to do now? Or given 2 and 3 pump fakes. You're like, well, you just gave him time to come defend your shot. Just put the ball in the basket. I don't know it's not being taught that way. I know that pump fakes are taught, John, but you don't have to pump fake when they're not defending you. You just flush it home and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard pump fakes talked about so much since maybe the 1990s. They're certainly talking about it more so than anyone I've ever been around. So it's certainly a point of emphasis, and it's certainly a pretty good weapon to use at times. But there was a one time Elijah Strong pump faked, and there was nobody around, and it gave the opportunity for a couple of guys to come around, and he didn't make it. I think Mike ended up with an offensive rebound and got fouled and made his free throw, so it didn't end up being a negative. But man, yeah, there's been some opportunities that have been wasted on that.
I agree. Well, look, 2 years ago, BJ Mack was a pump fake champion, but he used it to his advantage. Not like, hey man, I'm going to pump fake till you get over here and make this more difficult on me. I mean, he'd give you 1 or 2, and then he'd put it up in there. All right, Isaac Ellis has decommitted. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, there's several factors at play. It's been something that's been a little bit of a conversation here behind the scenes for a little bit. I didn't really want to make it sound like it's all about money, but he basically said it's all about money. So I guess I can sit here and say it's all about money. In maximizing, his future potential earnings. He's reclassifying, and not every player in OTE gets a lot of money, but a guy like Isaac Ellis, with the name that he has and the social media presence that he has, the following that he has, he's going to make a significant amount of coin by staying in OTE for a year. So, he's maximizing that revenue now while he can, and then he'll still have 4 years of college. And he thinks, and a lot of folks think, it'll end up being 5 years of college when if the NCAA changes that rule to allow players to play 5 years. We'll see if that happens or not. So he's basically saying, I know that I'm not an NBA guy. I need to take advantage of, the opportunities that I have. And, he's extending his money-making timeline. And, he put out a video on Instagram saying basically just that. And, I think the straw that kind of broke the camel's back there, so to speak, was the fact that, they're bringing in Marcus Johnson for next year. And, he was wanting to, extend his high school timeline and, have some separation in there. And with the current guard situation at South Carolina, especially adding in Marcus, and, that's where it all kind of ended up.
We'll see. Obviously, his brother's here. Carolina still has a shot at this kid, no doubt. But
yeah, as long as Eli's here, then South Carolina is probably the leader to get him. And I don't say this just about Eli. I say this about everybody. In this world, in this day and age of college sports, and maybe it changes, but you're building teams from year to year now, and you probably shouldn't get far too attached to individual players because they can come and go pretty easily. And, a lot of folks are often looking for their, what they feel is best at the time, be it playing time or be it dollar signs. And, we've seen, $1 sign decision from one Ellis already. And, we'll see, we'll see where it goes from here. We'll see where it goes from here. I know South Carolina loves Eli and the Ellis family, and we'll see where it goes.
All right. Gamecocks back on the court, 4:00 on Friday. Charleston Southern will be at the CLA. To Saturday, South Carolina will host Clemson, the 122nd version of the Palmetto Bowl. Gamecocks, John, are looking to win 3 of 4 in this series, aside from the 5-game winning streak for the first time since 1908 to 1971. Been a while since they've won 3 or 4 aside from that streak there. Yesterday, Jordan Kay reported with the state newspaper that Shane Beamer is returning in 2026. Jeremy Donati has confirmed that. You've got an article a little bit about this right now on thebigspur.com. So what are the next steps to get this thing back where it was?
Well, I mean, the first next step is to obviously win on Saturday. I don't know how much that necessarily impacts the rest of, what is going to happen this offseason, but, it certainly helps, and it certainly would help build back some goodwill for a fan base that, I think is probably has its collective lowest level of faith in Shane Beamer right now than it ever has. So, maybe winning that game on Saturday goes a little bit towards building back some of that faith. But once that happens, there's coaches and players that have to be addressed. And obviously the first big deal is offensive coordinator. And, I don't know if Shane has a guy who has already agreed to come join him. Certainly there's nothing in writing, and verbal commitments aren't necessarily worth much, whether it's from a 17-year-old high school kid or 16-year-old high school kid or a coach who's potentially trying to reserve a spot as well. So, but that's got to be sorted out pretty quickly. And I like what Shane Beamer said, or has said for the last couple of weeks. I don't want it to be hasty, but I want it to be efficient in terms of being able to get my guy in here, because there's a lot of work to be done, and the offense is going to need some direction, and there's at least one more coach that has to be hired on that side of the ball too. So, now that we know that he's back, got to get to work on the offensive coordinator, but you also got to get work on the players. That's keeping the high school recruiting class intact, which, they've done a good job of so far. Despite all the adversity, whether it's, firing, your offensive coordinator or firing an offensive line coach that players really love, or, just the doldrums of the 4-7 season being what it is. But, you've got players on your current roster that you got to re-recruit and hold on to as well. Like, we all look at Lenore Sellers and, Dylan Stewart and maybe a Jalen Kilgore. But you got to hold on to the guys who are going to be stars too. Like, if Vakari Swain had left last offseason, like, people would have been disappointed, but I don't think anybody would sit here and say that would be a Dylan Stewart type of loss. But there are gonna be guys who explode year over year like Bakari Swain did. So, there's a lot of important guys that you gotta hold on to, and you're not going to be able to keep everybody. You always lose guys after a disappointing season. You lose guys after good seasons, but you definitely lose guys after disappointing ones. So you're not going to be able to hold on to everybody, but you got to work hard and holding on to as many of the guys that you want as you can. So, those are starting points, but you got to get ahead of the portal. You got to figure out who's going in, start jockeying for position to get visits and the whole 9 yards. There's so much to be done in a very short period of time, because there's a lot that has to be changed from last year or I guess from this season to next season.
And unfortunately for this football program, the coaches will have plenty of office time in December to be able to get a lot of that ironed out. Mike Furry is gonna meet with the media today, and I don't I'm not phrasing this necessarily as a way for him to make his pitch publicly to be named the offensive coordinator of the Gamecocks, but I am curious. We have all picked apart and things that he has done in the last couple of games, and we've pulled up and tried to find things that he has done before as the play caller and head coach at Limestone, found articles, the influence of Mike Martz on what he tried to design at Limestone. I'm really curious if somebody just point blank asked him, hey, if you're offensive coordinator, what is your offense? Like what if you had a whole offseason to put together an offense, what would you be putting together? Has anybody thought about asking him that question?
It seems very simple, doesn't it? Just to get him to lay it out like that, and I don't know what the answer will be for him, and I don't know. I don't know how much. Obviously, this weekend is going to be a major part in whether that decision would be made or not for Mike Furry to have a shot at this job. I think a lot of folks would be okay with it, if it were this time last year and, he were promoted. But, after going through Mike Shula and, promoting him from, internally and it not going well, and, the offense in general, 4 or 5 years at South Carolina, I would say went substandard. I don't know if that's a move that Shane can make. So that'd be really tough to sell, I think, unless something really special happens on Saturday with the Gamecocks and over the Tigers.
Well, I think so too. I think at the end of the day, cutting through all of that stuff, John, like I have been asked my opinion. I think we've all been asked our opinions in some way, shape, or form, not just publicly, but I don't care who he hires. You don't care who he hires. If you ask what my opinion is, don't take an NFL square peg and shove it into a college round hole again. That doesn't work. It's proven to not work, and he's not going to do that by all accounts. But as far as like finding the right guy in college, it's really more like if it comes down to that, John, I guess what I'm laying out here is if it comes down to that, say he's got a final two of an outside guy and an internal candidate and Coach Furry. And he says they're equally the same, or I like my guy better than that outside guy. It just comes down to, are you capable of dealing with the off-season hoopla around this? Now, fast forward to September and you come out next year and you're 3-0 and you've scored 120 points. Everybody applauds you and they pat you on the back and you're a hero.
Absolutely.
But, it's a not you're like, I think we have to separate in our brains here. Again, I'm not making a case for this guy. I don't know if he's going to get it as it stands today. I don't think he is, but I'm just saying we got to separate the 9-month off season from what's best for the program. 9 months of scratching our heads, wondering what's going on in there because nobody has access, versus is he the right guy for the program? And nobody's going to know. You can hire the best OC in college football and not end up actually being the right guy for your program and it just doesn't work next year. So
I agree. I agree. And some would argue that hiring Mike Furry is the safe and easy hire for Shane Beamer, and I would argue the opposite. That would be the most ballsy of the hire that he could probably make. Because of the fact of some of what we've laid out. I mean, you're betting on a guy who's already here, who had a hand in an offense that hasn't been nearly good enough, and he doesn't have the real experience from a collegiate offensive coordinator standpoint. I mean, there's so much that doesn't seem quite right, and the fact that so many people are saying you got to go outside the program. Yeah, I mean it's the opposite of being the safe and easy hire. It might still be easy from a mechanic standpoint, but it's certainly not easy in terms of justifying it for as you said, the next 9 months. So, I'll be interested to see what this Saturday looks like. Part of me wants to. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what this Saturday looks like and where things go from here. I think if South Carolina hangs 50 on Clemson, that makes it a much more difficult decision than if they make it or if they don't score a whole lot.
Well, John, we'll see. There's something to be said sometimes. You think about Lenore Sellers, who I thought last week, I know it was Coastal. I got that, but getting that slump buster game in before playing in the ball game that you were the hero in last year. There's something to be said about that sometimes, John. I think that he is the most interesting man in the ballpark by far on Saturday, knowing that he saved the day last year for Gamecock football. Has had a rough year. Maybe they got him going, got him back on track last week. Final thoughts on Lenore Sellers facing the Tigers once again after taking them down in Death Valley last season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we say it every week, and but I also think it's true. Like it needs to be a special game for Lenore's again. With when and your best players have to play their best in your biggest games, and this is obviously South Carolina's biggest game remaining because it's the last one, and I don't know. I just if South Carolina wins this one, I think we're going to be talking about Lenore's and how he's got some momentum heading into next year after a really disappointing season, not only for South Carolina, not only for the offense, but I would think you would consider this a disappointing season for himself as well. And, I asked Shane a few weeks back, where have you seen growth in Lenore's this year? And the fact that, the only thing he could really come up with was, I think he understands the game better and he knows it better. I mean, that's probably true, but that's also not necessarily the best thing and only thing you should be able to say. So, I think that Lenore's probably has a little bit of confidence, as you noted, coming off of last week. And, I think if South Carolina wins, we're going to be talking about how Lenore's had another special game against the Tigers.
It seems more, I want to be careful how I say this, right, John? It seems more likely now than before that number 16 is playing quarterback again in 2026 at South Carolina. Do you feel that?
Yeah. I would say absolutely more likely than before, for various reasons. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee and promise, things, but
his world.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. You can't. Not until after that draft deadline, and then who knows? Somebody's going to take the draft deadline to court at some point too. But yeah, like I'm with you. I feel like that's the direction things are trending. That's the way the energy is going right now, and we'll see what ends up happening after the season.
Okay, John. All right. Final question here. Thanksgiving question. Thanksgiving do's and don'ts. Thanksgiving do's and don'ts for John Whittle. Okay. I'm going to throw a couple at you here. I'm going to put you in a scenario tomorrow. I don't know what your Thanksgiving plans are, but we've all been in this scenario right here. A relative or a friend engages you in politics. Clearly, you don't agree, but you're willing and capable, I think, in today's society, to have a civil conversation. But it's Thanksgiving. Or don't you?
Well, it depends on who it is and who's around. But in general, if it's kind of a one-on-one conversation, engage a little bit, maybe not go too far down the road. You know, if you're sitting there at the Thanksgiving dinner table with everybody, you change the subject.
Okay.
But, if you're hanging out watching the football game with a couple of folks and somebody wants to drive down that road, maybe you can ride down there a little bit with them.
Okay. All right. You arrive at your destination. You walk in. All right. It's not your comfort zone. It's not like mom's house. It's like a cousin or, that you get invited over for. Say they have kids or something. Football's not on the TV.
Then you leave.
My question was, you walk in and they got like Nickelodeon on. Well, the kids, keeping the kids happy. Do you or don't you ask them, can you put the game on?
Well, that's a good question. It depends on how good of a cook, the family you're visiting is. If you're going to get a delicious meal, then you probably stay and just get some updates on the phone for a little while and then excuse yourself a little bit early. But if you may just need to punt to go to a better meal if you think the meal is going to be substandard anyway.
or you'd be the passive aggressive guy who's sitting in the living room with watching the game on your phone. Hey, John, dinner, supper's ready, and you're like, I'm just watching the game.
Well, you can't go wrestle the remote away from an 8-year-old, right? Like, I mean, that's just like you can't do that. So you've got to come up with your own solutions.
You can, you just don't.
True. Like you probably could pretty easily, but there's going to be tears.
That's right. Yeah.
And you don't want that because
how many degrees of separation are you from said 8-year-old? I'm diving into this now. I'm like, listen, no, you put Bluey on one more time. Well, you and I are going outside.
Yeah. Like there's got to be a general feel for things. You know what I mean? Like you sit down and you're like, oh, y'all aren't watching the game. Not, they're not watching the game. The game isn't on TV. That's the comment you make of, hey, dumbass, the Lions and the Vikings are playing right now, or something like that. And we're watching, Animal Planet.
Yeah. And nobody cares about the Lions for 364 days out of the year, but everybody cares about the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. The Lions are good now, man. You gotta give the Lions credit.
It's the new America's team.
But yeah, my mom grew up going to Lions games on Thanksgiving Day. She grew up outside of Detroit every Thanksgiving. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and she only went on Thanksgiving, didn't she?
Well, probably.
Yeah. 364 days out of the year, she didn't give a shit about the Lions.
Oh, man. John, we are very, very thankful for you. John will be making an appearance. John doesn't even know this. Around 12:55 later on today. So you'll have to watch to see John. But we are thankful for you and all the hard work you do for Gamecock fans and for Gamecock athletics and for the Big Spur. You cover it like nobody else does, my friend. Thank you very, very much, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. There you go, John Whittle. I know we kept him a little late, but we wanted to have some fun. All right, it is 11:37. So we will step aside. $5 scratch offs on sale now and have been on sale for a few months. And it's stocking stuffer season, Mad Dog. You go get the scratch off tickets. They have the Carolina logo on them. You put them in the stocking. And maybe somebody wakes up on Christmas Day and they're $200,000 richer. All because you bought a Carolina scratch-off ticket for $5. Thanks to the South Carolina Education Lottery for providing that opportunity, and also for providing the opportunity to receive a scholarship. Almost 250,000 of those opportunities, as a matter of fact, in the last 20 years to University of South Carolina students. Incredible stuff what they have done for the better part of 2 decades. See sceducationlottery.com. We'll play some buy or sell when we return. We've got Stephen Garcia coming up. We've got Brad Crawford coming up. And we got the King of Late Night coming up as well on our Wednesday Thanksgiving special.
Hey Gamecock fans, happy holidays from all of us here at the Barn Dominium Company. Many of you will be spending your holidays in one of our beautifully built Barn Dominium homes. Thank you for letting us make your dreams come true. We hope you find peace, joy, and love during the most wonderful time of the year.
This is a breaking news event. We now have boiled peanuts without the shells.
Sorry, Alex. Did you say boiled peanuts without the shells?
Yes, boiled peanuts. No shells. Go to GameDayNuts.net and order them for Game Day.
Morning, Carl. Usual?
Yeah.
Your oldest was in here the other day. Said the two of you took a trip down to my neck of the woods. How'd that go?
You might as well give me one of those Carolina cards while you're at it.
I knew I'd like that one.
Yeah.
There you go, my friend.
Thanks.
Hey, Carl. Congratulations.
See you tomorrow, Freddie.
You bet.
At Moultrie Insurance, our agents are working for you. Our commercial lines of coverage are well-sourced and intimately chosen. We offer commercial lines of coverage such as business owners, umbrella, property, auto, or general liability coverage, and evaluate every option to find what fits you best. Like a good offensive coordinator, we will draw up the plays, but only run with what you feel comfortable. Get in touch with our quarterback, Perry Orth, or our head coach, Frank, by visiting MoultrieINS.com. MoultrieINS.com. Moultrie Insurance, proud supporters of the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Are you ready? The 9th annual Toys for Tots Christmas Show with Patrick Davis and special guests is Black Friday night, November 28th. The night before the Carolina Clemson game at the Senate in Columbia. Get your tickets now at patrickdavismusic.com or on the Chief Sports app and get ready to party. Go Gamecocks.
To my dying day, I'll be a South Carolina Gamecock.
Nana's Porch presents a Southern staple delivered right to your doorstep. Nana's Porch locally crafted pimento cheese has been a hit for years at weddings, tailgates, and other events. Now you can order online and have it sent to your home. Visit nanasporch.com. That's nanasporch.com and click the pimento cheese tab to choose between their original pimento cheese and their jalapeno smoked pimento cheese set. nanasporch.com, man, that's good.
It's time to buy or sell. I'm inside the Gamecocks show.
All right, 11:40. Welcome back to the morning show. The day before Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Eve. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, man. We love the holidays so much in our home. But, you know, whatever's going on in your lives, I sure hope that all of you get a chance to stop that if you haven't already and just enjoy life. for a few days and not let all this stuff just consume every ounce of you. I can't wait to walk in tomorrow with my family where I'm going to be peppered with Carolina football questions to go. Not having it. No. You want to hear my thoughts? Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the preview show. Like, no thanks.
Not talking about it today.
Yeah. Some people forget that, like, I get it at the bus stop with the kids. Well,
right.
I'm like, dude, man, nah. That clock
Seasons
starts
like
at
this.
10.
I'll get neighbors who don't even talk to me are like, well, "What the hell's going on with South Carolina?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, all right."
Yeah. What do you think about? What do you think about this? Yeah. So, enjoy your families and your friends. So with that, Phil and I thought we would bring you some joy with a version of buy or sell Thanksgiving style today. Now, I know that Phil has been able to think about this because I did send him the cheat sheet this morning.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
For our show schedule. All right. Do you want to start with do's and don'ts, or do you want to start with the buy or sell Thanksgiving?
Oh, I don't know. Well, let's start. We'll go buy and sell. We'll just go right down the list here. This is a good order here.
Okay. So number
you can
one.
mix it up too if you want to. I don't care.
Okay.
Well, let's just have fun.
All right. We'll start with the first one. Only traditional turkey or ham on Thanksgiving. You buy that or you sell that?
What's okay, so this one I did have questions on. Like, I need qualifiers here. What traditional turkey or ham is that? Like, you're only eating turkey or ham as the proteins? Like, you're not inviting other proteins in. You know, I'm gonna sell it, but only because I've had exposure to situations where I've had other proteins available. Now, what I will say is ham and or turkey really must be there, but I will accept things there as well.
So Tyler said, I hate turkey. It's too dry. But we have a solution for you, my friend Tyler. I think it's Tyler. I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay. Sweet Teases. They were on here promoting themselves last week. Oh my, what? Change the game. Karen and I did a trial run, so we didn't screw up the turkey. Orange slices in there, some lemon, some onion, and then the Sweet Teases. Dude, now I want to make the turkey every year, and I never wanted to make the turkey. Now I'm like, no, I'll make the turkey every year because they're all going to be like, you change. So I'm fired up. And yes, I'm with you. We have ham and turkey every year. Thanks to my friend Mike Sisko. Go get your hams and honey baked ham in Somerville or Mount Pleasant. Yeah, I don't know. Do I have to buy? I mean, this was mine, so I guess I do have to buy or sell, don't I? I'm gonna sell it. Man, because I do feel like there's going to be a year where I want to like smoke a brisket or something like that.
Yeah, there's room for other things on the table, but I think you have to have at least a turkey or a ham if you're ham people. I know a lot of people aren't turkey people, which I didn't discover until I was in my 20s. Well,
there are people who don't like the turkey.
Yeah, that you don't eat that you can have alternate meats on Thanksgiving other than turkey. Like it was roasted turkey for the longest time, obviously, but then they our family started roasting and smoking turkey. So I was like, oh, you can have different kinds of turkey. Ham never really entered the picture until I was in my teens. And then, like I said, I've had all sorts of weird stuff at Thanksgiving beyond that, but ham and turkey are always present.
Yeah. Okay. So we're selling.
Yeah, we're gonna sell that. Yeah.
All right. Buyers. I did this with Hale earlier.
Yeah.
Cranberries or cranberry sauce. Like either one. Are you buying?
Yeah. I'm buying the cranberry. Yeah, I'm a cranberry guy. I'm even weirder. Like I like the jelly. I like the ocean spray jelly cranberry. Yeah, I'll eat the whole cranberry stuff. My wife will not, but I am a jelly cranberry person. I like it. I like the leftover sandwich, a little bit of dressing, put some turkey on there, and then put a couple slices of that jelly cranberry on there. That's my that makes my Friday. That makes my Black Friday.
Okay, fair enough.
Buying cranberries.
Yeah, it's a hard sell for me. I you know what's crazy is I will drink cranberry juice.
Right, yeah. That's your preferred mixer.
But I don't want the cranberries with my Thanksgiving meal. So
I can see that. Cranberries are not for everybody.
Now I do tell the individual in our family who brings these every year that I already ate them. They're good. They're great. Thanks.
That's all right. They were really good this year.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what you did, but it's fantastic. Okay, buy or sell green bean casserole.
I'm buying green bean casserole. It's not a staple for us, but I like green bean casserole. And you know what? It's really because it's just a vehicle for the French fried onions on top is the only reason that I like it.
Man, that's a great comment, by the way. Yeah, well done. I didn't think about it that way. I will buy it because it's a staple. It's always there. But I will say this. To those that make the green bean casserole, you know you can screw it up, right? Like
right.
It's not as easy as just tossing green beans into a bunch of other stuff and it's magically going to taste good. Like my mom basically taught me how to make green beans. Green bean or string bean and broccoli champion in my house, Phil. The champion. Because I use a lot of damn butter and salt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what makes good.
Yeah, and then you boil it. You put enough water in there to boil. Well, not the broccoli necessarily, but the green beans. You boil it for so long, but it eventually turns into where there's enough water that they steam and they get really, really, really soft. Like I love soft, super soft green beans, not crunchy green beans. And the green
beans bite back.
No, man. And like green bean casserole sometimes, like people just throw the green beans in there and they're really crunchy. And I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, I'm sorry, but I already ate it. No, they were great. I already ate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are certain things that are, that I will also do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was really good. You know, it was a little different than last year's, wasn't it? Yeah, it sure was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Like, don't think that you can't screw up the green bean casserole. You can screw up the green bean casserole. Pay attention.
You can screw up everything on a Thanksgiving dinner, right? I mean, we just need to throw that out into the open and that, like, and some people need to hear this and that.
If this is you,
just because you make it every year and that's your thing, it doesn't mean everybody likes it, and it doesn't mean you're messing it up.
It doesn't mean it's supposed to be there. It means that you're still bringing it, and nobody has the courage to tell you, don't bring that anymore.
Right?
Okay. Buy or sell. You will eat either the white meat or the dark meat.
Oh, I'm buying that, and save the neck for me, Clark. I mean, I'll eat the neck too. Yeah, that's fine. I'll eat it all. If it's good. If you're serving up that old dry, stuff, then I may just eat dark meat at that point because it typically tends to not be dry.
Okay,
I'll eat either.
All right,
buy it.
Yeah, I'm with you. And now that I know how to do it.
Right,
100% buy. But some people are explicit, more so dark than white meat. Like you know what I mean. Like some people won't even touch. I don't know if I know anybody who's exclusive to white meat. I guess my kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, like I looked at the dark meat. And I was like, that doesn't look as good as the white meat. Little did I know.
That's right.
Okay,
Montreal here. This is a strong. No, okay. Green bean casserole is not necessarily a staple at my home, but I will always serve collard greens with Thanksgiving. That is because you have to have a green thing, right? Collards are mine. Yeah. So, yeah, good shout out, Quantrill.
first of all, it's nice to see Quantrell. Love that guy. I've always loved that guy. He's always been very supportive of us. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, not really out on a limb here, but a good strong that us Southerners can all agree with. Good collards are irreplaceable.
Oh, yeah.
If you have good collards, irreplaceable. Got to use a lot of grease when you're cooking them, but they're irreplaceable. All right. We got into this with Mike. I love Mike, but
Mike's answer.
Mike is so strange. Like
Mike is kind of an odd guy at times. Yeah.
He's an odd food guy. All right. Mixing of foods, buy or sell. It's a very controversial topic.
Listen, I don't care. There's so much, right? Like on a Thanksgiving plate. Like, are you only getting a couple of teaspoons full of this so that it doesn't touch the couple of teaspoons? No, not me. No, I'm going to get as much of this as I want, and it's going to touch that, and it's going to touch that. I don't really care. And I'm like you, if some of the things mix, if you're mashed potatoes and gravy mixed with something else and it gets on the turkey, that's a bite. You've just assembled a bite. I mean, this is, I like the mixing of foods.
Yeah.
I am buying that all day, man.
Mix them up, baby. I'm a big mixer. You give me the biggest fork in the house. Now, there will be some things like I won't mix. Now, all right, so how about this? Here you go. You ready? I'll have two mixes going. Like, I'm a Thanksgiving aficionado meal guy. I'll have two going. I'll have left side of the plate, mashed potatoes, dressing, turkey. Oh, yeah, we're all throw it in there. I don't mix the sweet potato casserole. I love that on its own. But on the other side, I'll mix mac and cheese and ham in a heartbeat, my friend. I'll put the damn mac and cheese on top of the ham if you ask me to. No problem. I got
mac and cheese and ham. That's a good flavor combo.
It's a great combo. Mm-hmm. Now, if the green bean casserole sucks, guess what? That's not getting mixed with anything. As a matter of fact, it's getting its own plate. You know what I mean? Like,
now there are certain things I don't prefer to be next to others. You're right. You got to have some buffer zones, I think, in there, but I'm not like, trying to army tray set up and everything in its own compartment. I love Bobby here. He's like, never mix, and I double down on being odd. I finish one thing before moving on to the next. Now that's a level of commitment there, Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
That really is.
I don't do all that. I try them all out, and then just I don't know if I've ever thought about it, to be honest with you. I sometimes, if I have like a favorite, if like the mac and cheese is really good, I might like save some of that for later. But on Thanksgiving, it's really hard to do that because I always fill my plate too full.
Yeah.
And then you hit that breaking point sometimes about 3/4 of the way through, and you're like, oh, son of a, I haven't gotten all the mac and cheese yet.
I need to eat that mac and cheese. That's not going to keep.
Very, very disheartening. It looks like Matt's here. You can plug him in if you want to.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So where did I Lauren's coming in from the top rope here. She said she'll dip her mac and cheese into her sweet potato casserole.
All right.
Okay, Lauren.
I don't do sweet potatoes, but that's cool.
Oh, I should have put that on here. All right. Brewing dressing, turkey, and mashed potatoes. There you go. See?
Yeah.
We're on the same page, man.
Yeah, everything,
Bruin and I could eat together. That's good. We're good. All right,
and then Matt comes in. Let's see, before we move on. So are we hot saucing anything on the plate? Well, that depends. No, because I like my collard greens with a kick.
Yeah, little pepper.
I like my collard greens with that pepper vinegar. I put it on top. I don't use the malt. I use the pepper vinegar. So, yeah, I like a little spice.
So me and my sister-in-law are big hot sauce people, and we just put the hot sauce between us. We each bring a couple, and we'll put it on the stuffing, and we'll put it on the mac and cheese. We'll do the pepper vinegar on the collards. Man, it just gets people away from us at the table too, because we're the in-laws essentially. We're like the other side. Like we just band together and say, if y'all don't like the smell, go somewhere else.
Are you talking about hot sauce still, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Hot sauce. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking 8-year-olds out behind the woodshed for not changing the channel, Matt. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. My wife's a big hot sauce fan too. All right, finally, buy or sell. This is going to sound funny, but some people are, this is a big no-no in some houses. Buy or sell paper and plastic on Thanksgiving Day.
I'm buying
it. I mean, really, you know, you got 12,
I don't think it
15
matters.
people over in your house, right? I mean, that's the most convenient thing. Just throw it away. My grandmother, it's interesting. Like, it's a complete dichotomy here. My grandmother on my mother's side, you would never have paper or ever. No, we ate on china with silver and had goblets, right? And then on the other side, whatever, plastic plates, you know, I mean, yeah, just because there were, you know, it's a smaller size family on one. And then on the other one, there, you know, might be 20, 30 people there. So you're not eating on china for 20, 30 people.
Unless you're rich. But
well, I mean, yeah.
My grandfather-in-law managed the Dixie Cup production facility here in Darlington for a number of years. Like 30 years. He was like the plant manager. So we still use Dixie Cup and Dixie plates in honor of him. But like, he had so much of it. Like, he never washed a dish in his entire life. He never did it.
I look, man, we buy paper plates by like the thousands because I got so tired of my kids. They know to put the dishes in the sink. They got that part down. But then I got to get them out of the sink. And I'm like, and then I got to wash them. And then you got to put them away. And I was like, yeah. It's enough of all that. We're literally buying 1,000 at a time. Period. The end. So I'm with you. The only thing I'll say with paper and plastic, it's not really the plastic, it's more the paper. Like, we have had years in our family where they supply the big paper plates, like the big oval ones, but those they get a little soft.
You gotta double plate it, and especially if stuff's coming off hot, man. We have a very nice wood table that's about 12 feet long that my father-in-law and his dad and I built together about 5 years ago. Nice. And I am just an absolute soup Nazi. Like, you're not putting anything hot on that. We use paper plates. Like, get a placemat, get napkins. I don't care. You're not ruining this table.
Yeah. I don't care what you eat off of. Just don't ruin my table.
Yes.
We're like that in our house with that, especially with our kids. Like, you'll put a placemat underneath you and a bib and everything under the sun because they could screw it up in a hurry. All right. There you go. Buy or sell, Thanksgiving style.
Yeah, man.
Got a couple more of these we'll mix in coming up here with Garcia and Brad Crawford as well. So we'll step aside. Hour 2 is in the books. We got a final hour to go on this Wednesday, beautiful Wednesday Thanksgiving special. And if you haven't checked the weather and you're going to be like the rest of us in Columbia for the ball game on Saturday, might want to go pull out those long johns and anything else that can keep you warm, because it's going to be cold as crap on Saturday morning. As you stand outside and get ready for Gamecock football. More on that and Stephen Garcia when we return.
Jeffrey's got space and a touchdown. Can you believe it? Touchdown! He caught it on traffic. Scores!
Are you ready? The 9th annual Toys for Tots Christmas Show with Patrick Davis and special guests is Black Friday night, November 28th. The night before the Carolina-Clemson game at the Senate in Columbia. Get your tickets now at patrickdavismusic.com or on the Chief Sports app and get ready to party. Go Gamecocks.
I'll be a South Carolina Gamecock.
Test ride at Electric Bikes of Charleston today. Road trip ready. Ride comfortably. Forget road fatigue. The Velotric Fold 1 Plus features our exclusive Comfort Max frame design for an effortless, upright riding posture and a low step through. With an adjustable seat and stem, you'll be feeling great and ready for the next campsite adventure. Your back will thank you. Visit Electric Bikes of Charleston. Electric Bikes, Charleston.com.
Welcome to Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions. Basement crawl space encapsulation designed for your specific needs. Your crawl space can be susceptible to all sorts of issues, including moisture buildup, mold growth, and structural damage if not cared for properly. Let our trained experts provide basement crawl space encapsulation solutions to protect your home, improve air quality, and enhance energy efficiency. Schedule your consultation today for a safer, healthier space at dryspacecs.com. Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions, proud supporters of your South Carolina Gamecocks.
Are your wood floors dirty, scratched, worn, or unsightly? Refinish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution, your solution for dull wood floors that need an upgrade. Our one-day, dustless wood floor refinishing process is simple, effective, and affordable. Our goal is to serve as many customers as possible, so give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365, or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks!
Hey Gamecock Nation, my name is Kyle, longtime listener of the show and avid golfer. I wanted to take my game to the next level, but let's face it, golf is a hard game to learn on your own. I heard the ad from McKellar Enterprises and reached out to the owner and former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor. In just 2 months of working with Meredith, I shot my lowest round ever, and I've never felt more confident in my golf game. So if you're looking to take your game to the next level, go to McKellarEnterprises.org and book your lesson today with former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor. Go Gamecocks!
The Palmetto Bowl, the shining star of the Palmetto State. No one day each year receives as much love, as much hate, as much discussion, as much disagreement. No one day matters more than this one. Every year, late November, everything that has happened to this point, it matters, but not on this day. What happens in this game? That's the conversation. It tilts the way everything is viewed for 1 year. For bragging rights, for pride, for respect. It's Clemson. It's South Carolina. For the 122nd time. In Williams-Brice Stadium.
Option, keeper, touchdown, Lenore Sellers going left side, touchdown, Lenore Sellers.
It is the final hour of the Inside the Gamecocks Thanksgiving special. Welcome back, the king of late night, our version of late night on the Chief Sports Network. Matt Anderson, Mad Dog Mullinax, and myself, just little old JB. I don't have any special nicknames like all these other guys do. Here until 1 o'clock today, Brad Crawford will join us at 12:30. We'll get a national view of college football this weekend, rivalry weekend with him, and obviously clearly talk about South Carolina and where things stand going into this Palmetto Bowl, the 122nd version of it. It will kick off at Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturday. The pre-show is going to be at 10 a.m. on Friday. As always, Perry Orth will be a part of that preview show this week, and we're really looking forward to having him. If you haven't checked the weather, if you are going to be joining us at Patrick Davis's show on Friday night, thankfully we'll be indoors. The low in Columbia on Friday night, which won't actually happen until the early hours of Saturday, is 26 degrees. And the high on Saturday is 49. And that is expected to hit around 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the game is ending. So if you are going to be out there tailgating bundle up and get ready to go for South Carolina, who is now a 3.5-point favorite over the Tigers this weekend. The other lines, by the way, the Friday lines, the Egg Bowl, the Rebels 7.5-point favorites in that one. Georgia and Georgia Tech, dogs 13.5 in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and A&M and Texas. Mike Morgan will be calling that game. The Longhorns are 2.5-point dogs to the undefeated Aggies. Kentucky and Louisville at home against the Wildcats, who are trying to get bowl eligible with a win. Louisville's a 3.5-point favorite in the ball game. Oklahoma is a 10.5-point favorite over 7-4 LSU in Norman. Vandy and Tennessee, Vols 3.5-point favorites. Crazy in Neyland Stadium. Vanderbilt looking for their 10th win of the year. And let me ask you all a question real quick on that. Vanderbilt, first of all, a couple of notes if y'all missed them yesterday. Vanderbilt has not played Tennessee as a ranked team since 1958, and they've never faced one another as ranked opponents. That in itself is crazy. But if you go look at Vanderbilt's body of work, if they get this victory in Neyland Stadium, a top 20 team on the road to finish the year, you go look at their grand body of work. There's a lot of folks who, with the new CFP rankings now out, they're at 14. They still don't think that 10 wins will be enough to get them in. Take the V off the chest and put an A on it, or put an LSU on it. And Diego Pavia is the quarterback of that team. You think that would change anything? I feel like those that believe that right now are just hosing Vanderbilt because it's Vanderbilt. That's what I think.
Yeah. If it was LSU on the chest, they'd be in the college football playoffs. It's tough. And when you look at it, the Gamecocks have played 3 of the top 14 in the college football playoffs. And I hurt for Vanderbilt. I don't hurt for Diego Pavia. He's not my favorite person based on some of the antics, but I get it. Like, Marshall Henderson wasn't everyone's favorite person. I love Marshall Henderson. So maybe I'm being a little bit a little biased there. But I would love to see it for Vanderbilt. And I think that if there is a year they need to get in there, it's this year. There's some parity at the top.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the strongest argument, and truly the only thing that needs to be said, is Vanderbilt's 2 losses are to Alabama and Texas, and Miami's 2 losses are to Louisville and SMU. Period.
Hey, and those losses were on the road in Tuscaloosa and in Austin by 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points in Austin, and it got away from them in Alabama, but they owed them 1. It doesn't matter. I mean, you got 2 ranked opponents. It bothers me a lot. But I mean, you knew it was going to happen, and you're right, JB. If it were a different brand,
yeah. I want to throw it back to y'all. If this was South Carolina at 10-2 in a similar situation, do you think they would get the benefit of the doubt? Because we just saw what happened last year.
I think they would because of what happened last year. I think South Carolina would be in. Yeah, I agree with that. And I generally believe I'm not like a strong believer. Like, a lot of people take this whole logo thing and they just really run as far as they can with it. Oh, they don't get enough. But they're not a brand, and I do believe there's truth in some of it, but not to the extent that others do.
Yeah.
But I think that if you had established yourself last year like the Gamecocks did, and you went 10-2 this year, I think they would absolutely be in if you had that same body of work. Essentially, by beating Vanderbilt would be, flipped over, right? But yeah, I'm with you. I for all the Vandy fans, if there happens to be one paying attention to us, we're on your team. We really think they got a chance. All right, real quick here. Missouri, Arkansas. How tough is it in the SEC? Missouri 7-4. They go to 2-9 Arkansas, and Mizzou is a 2.5-point favorite. Florida State going for bowl eligibility. They're at the gate. They play the Gators, obviously, in this ball game at Ben Hill Griffin. Florida is a 1.5-point favorite in that ball game, and then the nightcap, 7:30 ABC, the Iron Bowl. The Tide 6.5-point favorites on the road in Jordan-Hare Stadium. But enough of all that. Y'all are tired of hearing about point spreads. Let's get to the real star of this show, Stephen Garcia.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, part of the Chief Sports Network. It's time to party. Let's talk ball with legendary Gamecocks quarterback, Stephen Garcia.
I got a whole lot of money. Y'all it for me. Bottle keep popping that water band.
And Garcia breaks the tackle. Oh my goodness. Garcia back, steps up, goes deep right side. Alshon Jeffrey, touchdown, South Carolina. Garcia is going to go on a quarterback draw, and he is in. Touchdown.
Yeah. Some people just know how to beat the Tigers better than others. A Tiger tamer was Stephen Garcia, 9-09 and 2010. It started that streak of 5 straight wins over Clemson. He looks the same that he did back then. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Yeah, you too. How you guys doing?
I mean, you has Coach Spurrier seen all this hair and this beard on you?
Not in a while.
What do you remember when you went to media days? What did he say to you when you were there? When you had all that hair?
He said
something about Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's like, hey, Garcia's part of the media boys now. I wasn't sure if it was him or somebody from Duck Dynasty. always some sort of smart ass comment.
Well, yeah, he's good for that. I think we all know that. All right. Hey, did I see this right? I'm pretty sure I saw it on Twitter yesterday. I saw you have a one or maybe 2 turkeys brining in the cooler. That was you, right?
Yeah. Got 2 of them in there. Not anymore. Took them out last night, and they're in the fridge right now with some dry rub seasoning.
Okay. What is your brine? How do you do? You can cook. I know you can. So what is your go-to with the brine and all that?
Salt, use some of that Southern Rub, Ghost Rub seasoning.
Okay.
Put I think it equates to 3 hazy IPAs. Yep. Some apples, some garlic, peppercorns, orange slices. God, there's one more thing. I can't think of it.
Bourbon.
I don't know if I said salt. No bourbon. Nope. That's for drinking. Yeah, I can't remember what else. I think that might be it. But yeah, we marinated it for about 36 hours in there.
Man, that's awesome. Are you smoking it or what are you doing?
I'm gonna smoke one, and then Masha is gonna air fry the other one.
Air fry the other one?
That's a new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you must.
How big is your air fryer, man?
Yeah.
The oven has an air fryer component to it. So yeah, I mean, last year we did 3 of them. We baked one, air fried it, and smoked it. And everyone liked the air fry one the most.
Really? That's crazy.
Yep.
So do you have all of your side of the family and her side? Y'all have everybody to your compound?
Yeah. It's a cluster, you know what, over here. So we spent about the last 5 days kind of getting everything prepped up, and the tables and chairs and outdoor furniture, and it's gotten very expensive.
We all do it outside, Stephen?
Yeah, we're doing it in this pole barn.
Nice.
All right, so here's the big question though. Or no shirt on Thanksgiving Day for Stephen Garcia?
Last year it was no shirt. I think the last 2 years was no shirt. Let me look real quick. If I don't even. It's supposed to be cold. Yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be 50 something degrees. Let's see.
That's never stopped you before, so
no. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's
that
gonna
bourbon will warm me up too.
Yeah. I'm not. It'll be a shirtless day.
Dude, that is awesome. Well, man, hey, happy Thanksgiving to all of you and all your kids and all that stuff. It's I know it's special to be able to host all those people to your house. So thanks for taking a little bit of time to hang with us for a minute too. Obviously, it's a huge weekend coming up for South Carolina. And you know what it's like to beat these guys inside of Williams-Brice Stadium and outside of Williams-Brice Stadium up there in the upstate. But is there one thing out of those years that you played them, obviously probably more particularly in those 2 wins, that stands out more than the other?
Ah, man. Not really anything that stands out. I mean, I will say this, actually something that stands out. I'm a huge fan of Clemson allowing the players' families to come on the field after the games. I thought that was a really nice gesture. It was really cool that they allowed. There's a picture of Memphis sitting on my shoulders. You know, I got my pads on, everything. He's on my shoulders after we beat him there. I thought that was pretty freaking cool that they allowed that to happen. But you know, outside of that, man, I mean, it was just a big ass rivalry game, and I mean, we were all fired up no matter what our records were. You know, it's that if you can't get fired up to play against a rival, then what the hell are you doing?
Steven, who talks more crap during the game, Carolina or Clemson, in your experience?
I bet
usually whoever's winning. But yeah, I don't know. I forget the guy's name. I want to say his last name was McDaniel. Played safety for Clemson. He sacked me right before halftime in 2009, and like tried to like step over me like the Allen Iverson like walkover deal, and I like kind of like gator death rolled on his almost tore his ACL in his entire freaking lower half. And he like fell on the ground. I looked at him. I was like, "Don't ever step over me again." And you know, cursed at him a little bit. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, it's nonstop trash talking, no matter what.
So you'll tell everybody what you said to that guy, but you won't tell anybody what you said to the dude from Florida.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Not anytime soon.
Okay, good. You threw 3 touchdown passes in that 2009 game when y'all beat Kyle Parker and the Tigers at home. When you're throughout the week, man, it's kind of a crazy week because you do have, you know, you do have Thanksgiving, and the Gamecocks kind of, you know, every year it's a little bit different, but they accommodate that clearly. Y'all are able to spend time together on Thanksgiving, but then you're also preparing to play your rival. I mean, how do you stay focused without getting too crazy? You got family coming into town, you got Clemson coming up. How do you manage all that?
And that's a good question. You know, I think Coach Bear did a really good job and he did it not just for this, you know, particular week, but throughout the entire season, throughout the entire year. He was very good about, you know, football. This is your football family. This is your actual family. Spend time with your family. You know, do what you got to do with your own family. And he was very good about allowing us to, you know, my parents and brothers and everybody, they would always fly into Columbia, and we stayed at a place out in, I forgot the name of the lake, but yeah, we would celebrate our Thanksgiving with each other and, you know, have a good time.
Murray.
And then, no, it wasn't Lake Murray. It was some private lake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it'll come to eventually. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, you're at the university to play football, and it's arguably the biggest game of the season. So, you know, you're in there with your family and you're having a good time, but at the end of the day, like, all right, you still got a job that you got a mission to accomplish. And I mean, this is a game that's circled on your calendars all year long.
You beat the hell out of them in 2009. 29-7 was or 34-17 was the final score in that game. And then you're already going to the SEC championship game in 2010. You know that going into this game, regardless of what happens in the game, you're still going to Atlanta to play for the SEC championship. But because you beat the crap out of them in 2009, what was the confidence level like, aside from the fact you were going to be confident anyways, you were already good, but like you destroyed these guys a year before. How much of an impact did it have on y'all's mentality going into the game?
Not much, to be honest. I mean, we were all very, very, as a team, very good about not caring or worried about what happened the year before or 2 years before, any of that. I mean, Coach Brewer was very adamant about not worrying about the previous kind of deal. It's like, focus on what we're doing this year. Let's focus on Clemson right now. We'll worry about Auburn later. So that wasn't a huge deal. But I'll tell you this much. The week before we played, it wasn't the week before, but 2 weeks before we played Florida, and they ran back the opening kickoff. And that was one of the loudest stadiums moments I've ever heard in my entire life. So we're sitting on there outside, and we're like, oh God, we're about to get our asses beat. We end up, you know, taking that first drive down for a touchdown. We tie the game up. Then, you know, the rest is history. What happened to Florida? Clemson, I believe, scored on their first play.
Well, it's Spiller. Spiller returned it, I think. Was that the game I'm thinking about?
It was very, very early. They scored on either the opening kickoff or one of the very first plays of the game. So we're down 7-0 before the stadium even calms down. So it's the same thing. We're like, oh God, this could get ugly. But I feel like we had such resolve, and we're like, we were a confident group, and that just stems from, the guys we had in the locker room, and all the way up the ladder to Coach Bird. Just we were a confident group of guys. So we kind of collected our thoughts, drove down the field, scored, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it felt like Spiller took it back in 2009, but Clemson did score first in 2010. I know
They
that.
did. Yeah, Spiller definitely returned it first in 2009, but I know they scored very early in 2010.
Yeah, they did, and then that was it. They didn't score again.
No, exactly.
That defense, they had enough quickly. Cliff Matthews and that group of guys said, "Yeah, no bueno, no more." So I ask you that question to ask you about this team here. The record is what it is, Stephen, but none of that matters right now going into this game. It might matter to the fans. They might be focused on the season that has been, but the Carolina football team isn't. They are clearly focused on Clemson. So you think about Lenoris Sellers, like you went out there and had a pretty good game in 2009. You threw 3 touchdown passes. I don't think you threw for a bunch of yards, but you did what you had to do as a quarterback. Had a special performance to beat those guys and end. At that point in time, Carolina had lost 6 of 7 games to Clemson, aside from that 2006 victory in the Upstate.
Shit, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they had lost. Yeah, they lost in 2002, 3, 4, and 5, and then 7 and 8. You were part of those teams.
Yep.
And then y'all ended that streak in 2009. So Lenoris Sellers obviously has had some issues this year for a multitude of reasons. We're not going to go all the way down that hole with you right now. But he did have a slump buster last week against Coastal Carolina. What's it like? He was the hero in this game last year, dude. And now he's got a slump buster, and he's looking at them going, yeah, y'all remember me, don't you? What do you think's going through his brain? What is this moment like for him now that he has maybe gotten out of that slump?
I think I speak for everybody with Gamecock Nation that we hope that was not a lucky slump buster. It's hopefully he's carrying that on to not only this game but staying another year. I think everybody in the Garnet and Black would love for that to happen. But yeah, he's got to play well. Clemson is not some slouch of a team. Obviously they're not as a playoff team like they thought they were going to be. Neither are we. But he's still Lenoris and can make those plays that we've all seen before. I'm just hoping that he kind of plays with that reckless abandon that he kind of did towards the last half of last season. So, and last game for that matter. So I'm hopeful. I just really hope that he's not going to be playing timid and kind of like protecting his body and protecting the future and all the other stuff. Even though he has every right to. That's what the whole, we can go down that rabbit hole too, the NIL and the transfer portal, but that's for a different conversation.
Well, Stephen, I want to get one take from you real quick. In a rivalry game like this, what are you wanting to do as a quarterback to start the game, to get in your flow, all of that? Or if you've watched all of South Carolina's games this year, what would you recommend the offensive coordinator does to get Lenoris going early?
Well, that was one thing that Coach Burr was also very good at. We'd meet before the game and really all week, but before the game, he's like, all right, what do you feel? Do you want to run the ball or you want to take a shot downfield? Or do you want to hand the ball off? What do you want to do to kind of get the cobwebs out and, kind of calm your nerves? So I was one of the guys, I just wanted to fake a handoff and go run, kind of get my bell rung a little bit or, get hit, get the feel for the game and then go from there. I'd imagine Lenoris is kind of similar. He probably wants to have the ball in his hand, get him outside the pocket, kind of what we saw against Virginia Tech. Get him outside the pocket, give him a quick little easy throw, or, if it's covered, take off and run and, let him use his legs. So that's my personal opinion. I don't, he's obviously a different person, but I would assume that it's somewhat similar.
Okay, well, in that, you've watched the last 2 games. What do you think about what Mike Furry has done with this offense?
I think it's gone back to what what they were doing towards the last half of last year. I don't know what we won't talk about the second half of Oklahoma because I don't know what the hell happened there on both sides of the ball. But it was good to see them take shots downfield. It's good to see Lenoris get outside the pocket and have the run pass ability. That's his strength. I don't know why we would ever get away from that. I think I'm as confused as everybody else. But if we can get him outside of the corner and let him make a decision whether to pass it or run it, and let him go. That's one thing I want to see him do, man. And I'm a Lenore's guy, but I got to see him make a decision, just go. That against Oklahoma, man, he's sitting there and he's done it all year. He's over there. He's kind of like looking around. He's running sideways and not north and south. And I know, Shannon Sharp said the same thing. He noticed it. Anybody that really knows ball knows it's like, dude, you're running to the sideline. Like, get your ass upfield. You're a big dude, man. Use your speed, use your size, get upfield, take a few yards. Don't take a sack. Don't wait around and try to make a miracle throw. But I don't know what he was being taught. So who knows?
I know it's really that's why I said he's maybe last week was a slump buster. We've all been in college. Everybody needs a slump buster, Stephen.
No doubt.
Maybe that was his. I think the other thing too. I'm just curious, and we'll get you out of here in just a minute. But just curious your thoughts. The last two games, A&M and the game against Coastal last week was his brother. Nick Harbor was the week before. They have managed to get their playmakers into space and let them actually make plays. You've mentioned this around here a ton. Like it doesn't have to be this complicated. Give them the ball in space and see what they can do with it. And we've seen much more of that the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this group of playmakers that the Gamecocks have and why it has been so important to let them make their own moves with the ball in their hand.
Yeah, I mean that's what they are on the field to do, is to make plays. We can't rely on Lenore's just to run around the entire game. Let's get the ball to these guys, especially outside on the perimeter, and let them make some guys miss. They're making one guy miss. They're one guy away from going to the house. So you see it all the time in college football. You see it all the time, even in the pros at that level. You make a guy miss, you take it to the house, and it goes on your stat sheet just as much as you would if you're throwing an 80-yard bomb. So, I think you're just getting the ball to these guys as fast as possible with a couple blockers in front of them, or whatever the case may be. Just give them the ball, let them make something happen. Kind of take a little pressure off of Lenore's a little bit.
Anybody ever say anything to you in the upstate that you remember? All the trash talk you've heard all these years? No. It didn't mean enough.
No, I'm trying to think. I honestly, it was in one ear and out the other. I was too worried about Coach Spurrier's shit talking, to be honest.
Well, the flip side there, Stephen, do you think you've said anything that they remember?
I think you said that in 09 and 2010, the result.
Yeah, I'm sure I have said plenty of things that some guys remember. I don't know. I say a lot of crazy things when I'm playing. I'm in the heat of the moment and the adrenaline's going. I'm letting it fly.
All right. I know that you're hosting Thanksgiving. But if you had to do Thanksgiving somewhere else, there's all the leftovers, okay? They're all out there. There's a specific item that you want. Are you the guy who's patiently waiting to see what is offered to you to depart with? Or are you like, no, I'm taking that? Are you going to the front of the line to get the leftovers that you want to take home?
I think in my younger days, I would have been in the front of line. Since having kids, it's like, yeah, you guys go first, and I'll eat whatever's later. Usually on Thanksgiving, though, I got a nice little buzz going, so I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about the leftovers at that point.
Well, the question I was gonna ask, I was like, well, wait a second, that's way too easy. Was you get to Thanksgiving, nobody's drinking, and you're waiting to see who pours the first one. Do you say, F it, I'll get this party started, or do you wait on someone else?
No, I'm not waiting on anybody else. That is my role. I will gladly accept that role. I don't mind that one bit.
Jesus, what the hell is going on in here?
It's like, did somebody die that I don't know about? Like, what the hell is going on? I'll get the turtle boxes cranking. We'll get the party going.
I can only imagine. Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't ask that one. That was kind of a no-brainer. Look, brother, it's great to see you. Tailgate Talks is just awesome. Nate on there this week. The John Abraham one was just classic.
That was unbelievable. He did not hold anything back, man. That's what we want, man. That's what we try to tell these guys. Like, man, just say whatever you want to say, how you want to say it, and we'll if there's something you say that you might not like, we'll edit it out. But for the most part, man, it's awesome. And for him to say what he was saying was just incredible. And honestly, he was truthful about it too.
I had him on my show a few years ago, and I was like, I don't know what just happened, but we just got hit with a gazillion truth bombs.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if anybody likes it. That was as raw as it gets right there. And the guy's been through a lot, but you know, obviously, you know, Jadeveon. Jadeveon is Jadeveon. He is what he is. He's one of the best we've ever seen really at any level. But man, I would still say to this day, I don't know that I ever saw somebody better on that side of the ball overall than John Abraham. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Had a hell of an NFL career too.
133 and a half sacks. I'd say so.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and Memphis and all your kids, and to your beautiful bride and your mom and your dad and all of y'all's family, man. Thanks for everything you do for everybody. It sure does mean a lot, and hopefully we get to see you sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be up there. I know I was talking with Perry about doing another camp up there. Try to run something in Charleston too. So I'll definitely be in touch with you, man. We'll link up sooner rather than later. And I appreciate you guys.
Always call me and let me know what you need. We'll take care of it.
Yes, sir, guys. I appreciate y'all. Happy Thanksgiving as well.
Later, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Go Cox.
boys.
There you go. The great Stephen Garcia. All right, we got to hit a break. Electric Bikes of Charleston. We all know you're going to be full tomorrow. If you've got one, great. You can get out there and pedal around till you're tired and kick it. Just kick it into auto mode and let it get you home. Like overdrive, basically, right? That'll help you work off all that food that you eat. But if you don't have one, it's the holiday season. Maybe that's the big gift under or next to the tree this year. ElectricBikesCharleston.com. ElectricBikesCharleston.com. Gamecock owned and operated. What a better gift than this time of year, especially with all the food that we'll consume over the next 30 days or so. Brad Crawford is kind enough to join us the day before Thanksgiving. He'll be here next, and our annual tip of the cap to all of you on Thanksgiving coming up in about 20 minutes right here on Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show.
Food tastes better without the shells. Get the shell out of here. Visit GameDayNuts.net and change your boiled peanut experience forever.
Gamecock Traditions ships to your doorstep, and we're here to help make your gift-giving experience easier and affordable. Shop the widest selection of Gamecock apparel and gift ideas at Gamecock Traditions. Youth, women's, and men's apparel fully in stock. Jewelry, kitchenware, tailgate gear, and so much more. Shop and ship today. Happy holidays from Gamecock Traditions.
Introducing this year's Carolina Jackpot $5 scratch-off ticket, featuring a chance to win up to $200,000. You can even enter your tickets into the Second Chance promotion. Step on the court for a chance to win $50,000, $75,000, or $100,000. This Palmetto series, let's show who really runs this state.
Are your wood floors dirty, scratched, worn, or unsightly? Refinish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution before the guests arrive this holiday season. Our one-day dustless wood floor refinishing process is simple, effective, and affordable. Give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365, or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks and happy holidays.
Why choose Game Day Nuts?
They're so easy to eat.
Don't have to throw the shells away.
Easy for travel. It's like grab and go.
Delicious.
Delicious.
They are delicious.
Never miss a touchdown fumbling with your nuts. Visit GameDayNuts.net. Boiled peanuts. No shells.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, built by the Barn Dough Company. Go Gamecocks!
Just as long, stand by me, yeah, yeah, come on, Tuesday, by me, won't you, stand by me, won't you stand by me, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, it is 12:37. Welcome back. A special Thanksgiving inside the Gamecocks. Matt Anderson and another great beard, Brad Crawford. Not as scruffy and scraggly as our buddy Stephen Garcia, but happy Thanksgiving, man. How are you?
It's good to see you, man. Been a while this season. I know it's been a rough year on our Gamecocks, but biggest game of the season every year for me in the Crawford household is Carolina Clemson. And I think the Gamecocks finished with a dub this weekend.
Do you really? Yeah. I just saw that they're now 3.5-point favorites over the Tigers. Why do you feel that way?
Just in recent weeks, I think South Carolina has played better collectively as a team since the Shula firing. I know sans the second half against A&M. I think the first half we really saw what a lot of us thought South Carolina could be this season. Played a opponent that did not match up athletically last week, obviously, final score there. And this is Clemson's worst team in 5 or 6 seasons. And I know the Gamecocks record is bad, but I don't think this is a legitimately bad South Carolina team. But they've played so many top 15 opponents, just hadn't made enough plays in the second half. So I think Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks get it done finally at home this weekend.
Want to get some some genuine thoughts on you here on how things have played out, because I don't think we have had you on since August, I believe. Yeah. Man, that's
we haven't talked about my Virginia Tech Beamer report. We haven't talked about him. Yeah, I mean, none of it.
Poor Brad. Look, man, that's
job as a national guy. You know how it goes.
That's the way college football goes. So I understand why people are asking this question. It really, to this point, it's relevant and irrelevant, because in one way, shape, or form, or on one side, it's irrelevant because it's already done. The move has been made, but it's also relevant because it makes you question whether Shane Beamer is capable of making moves in the right time. But are you interested in ever receiving a response as to when Shane Beamer knew that Mike Shula was not a successful offensive coordinator, and why did he not make the change when he knew that, if he thought it was sooner than when he did?
Yeah, I'm not sure when Shane figured out, or if Shane was told to make the firing, or it's going to be your head on the plate, or if Shane knew by the end of September that this is going bad this season on this side of the ball. Lenoris has regressed, as a result. Offensive line obviously is not as good as everyone thought it would be. I think everything sort of just exploded all at one time. And I know Lonnie Teasley was the first to go, and then it was Shula a couple weeks later. But this has not been the offense that anyone thought that South Carolina would look like this season. There's been explosive plays at times. Nick Harbor has sort of came out of his 2-year shell and really looked like a wide receiver one this season at times. But Lenoris Sellers has just been gun shy, and we didn't see that last season. He's been reluctant to take on hits. Even when he's ran the ball, we see Lenoris going out of bounds. That wasn't the bruising quarterback runner that we saw last season. So I think Sellers has lost some confidence too. But, I wrote about 6 weeks ago now in a Beamer article, CBS, that I had spoke to someone close to Jeremiah Donati, first-year AD at South Carolina. Shane Beamer was never on the hot seat this season. 2026 was going to be the tell-all for Shane. And I mentioned that, and I know a lot of Gamecock fans. It's just strange to me that, the state asked Donati, is he safe? Yeah, the assumption he's always been safe. That's why the Gamecocks hadn't put out some, big release saying Shane Beamer's our coach the way Mike Norvell and Florida State did, the way Wisconsin and Luke Fickell did. It's because Shane was never on the hot seat inside the program. Now, 2026, if this team's 4-8, yeah, he's going to be fired, and he's going to have a massive financial windfall come his way. But for now, this team regressed a bit, obviously went short of expectations, but a lot of that has to do with the brutal schedule and not finishing games in the fourth quarter.
Well, I again, to your point a minute ago, I'm not so sure that people want to hear things that they don't want to hear when the record isn't very good. But I'm a believer in a lot of what he has said about, hey guys, we're not as far away as you think we are. Yeah. Like when he says that, Do you believe that? And if so, why?
You know, JB, I think I told you back in August, man, that I thought this team was going to be closer to a 6-6 team than a 9-win team. Not because the talent wasn't there. It's just because this schedule was right up there with OU and Florida as far as the toughest in the country. And we saw South Carolina during the second half of the 2024 season make those critical late game plays to win. And they've had 3 or 4 games this season where they could have a much better record and be inside the top 15 right now, had some bounces going their way. That's the way SEC football is, man. When you're not at one of the 1 to 2 premier programs nationally, you've got to make plays late in games. And it's just been execution failures. I think Shane would be the first to tell you that. That's why, he's been gritting his teeth and he's been very frustrated in every post-game pressure that we've seen this season because he knows how close this team is. Unfortunately, at a major Power 5 job like South Carolina, you're not going to get a major long runway to kind of show your stuff. 2026, it's got to happen for the Gamecocks.
I think that's a really good point. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, bud.
Well, I would take it one step further. Let's not forget that when Shane says certain things, he's been around big-time football. He's seen what it looks like when it clicks. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Shane is, 100% truthful in everything he says to the media, but I think 90% of the time he is. And he truly does believe it. And sometimes you just got to take him at face value and say, well, his dad was Frank Beamer, coach for Sylvester Croom, and we can go down Kirby Smart. We can go to every coach he's coached for, and he's seen what good teams look like. And hopefully the Gamecocks will find a way to be that next year.
Well, and I'll say this about Shane: he's never going to win press conferences. He's not an A+ coach when it comes to what he says behind the mic. I know sometimes he says things that fans are, pounding their head against the wall. We don't want to hear that anymore type stuff. But I mean, he really means that Shane's a legitimate guy. He tells the truth about stuff. And I think he really wants to be at South Carolina. I said back when he was hired in 2021, I think the Gamecocks hired a super fan as their head coach. Like, he loves and bleeds South Carolina. And 9 wins last season showed kind of the heightened success he could have here. But 2026, I'll keep coming back to it. If they start off bad and things go south and the Gamecocks by mid-season are not a top 25 team, I do think the plug will be pulled.
What would be your this? It's a hard question to ask, and it's a hard question to answer because we don't have a full set of information just yet. There is still the caveat of what happens in this ball game this weekend. But as it stands today, the day before Thanksgiving, what do you think he chooses to do with his offensive coordinator hire?
I do not think Mike will be the full-time hire unless Shane just does not feel that the pool of candidates has been as sexy as a lot of us expect it'll be. I think Shane goes likely the G5 route and finds a offensive coordinator at one of these ranked or near the top 25 that he can kind of pull from a G5 conference. There's a lot of good play callers in the American, proven guys who score a lot of points. Obviously, John David Baker at East Carolina, he's the OC.
Yeah.
I've heard his name mentioned a lot, too. I think he'd be a fantastic hire. At least somebody who's proven, and he's underrated Lane Kiffin coaching tree. I mean, we've seen what Lane Kiffin's done this season with a Division II quarterback in Trinidad Chambliss. Systems work. It's not always about the talent. Systems work. And I think Shane has to get a play caller in there that, maybe doesn't mimic what we've seen the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Okay. What is again, this is the day before Thanksgiving. These feelings could change. What is your feel on this situation with Lenoris Sellers and whether he returns to this program and how much of an influence that could be having on a potential candidate for this OC position?
Yeah, I hate to make a prediction on that, but I'll speak from the South Carolina side. I don't think you make an OC hire based on if your quarterback's coming back or not. You got to do what's best for the team, the university. There's 80 other scholarship players on the team for 2026, whether Lenoris Sellers comes back or not, whether Dylan Stewart comes back. If I'm Lenoris Sellers, if I have a first-round grade, I'm not getting in the portal. I'm going to the NFL draft. Because who's to say if he returns that his stock will be first round again after next season? It may improve or it may regress. if he plays the way he did this fall, next season, he's a day 2 pick at best. So I don't think a OC hire is going to make or break Lenore's decision. It comes down to the NFL for me. And he's not the only quarterback, JB, who's going to be rumored to be a transfer portal exit. I do think a lot of that, however, is probably coming from the Lenora Sellers representation side of things and not from South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as it stands right now really good about him being back at South Carolina. But again, things can always change. We know that if there's anything that we do know is that change is inevitable with college athletics at this point in time. Just out of curiosity, so many people, Brad. If you can, take us back a little bit to when Mike Shula was named offensive coordinator at South Carolina, and what type of information you were able to receive when you would, ask behind the scenes, whoever it is that you spoke to. And then as the season played out, how did that information correlate in your mind?
Well, in my private Gamecock chat with friends and other college football colleagues, I think a lot of us were actually surprised that, he wasn't even an assistant, right? He was like an analyst last year, and he got promoted to an OC position. You saw what he did in his career previously with a Heisman winner at quarterback in the NFL with Cam Newton and the Panthers. But I don't know. I think a lot of us, JB, just assumed that Lenora Sellers was going to take the next step. I personally did not have him as a Heisman candidate. You heard me all offseason say I need to see more than 6 starts, because the first 6 starts of his first-year starter last year, he led college football in turnovers. And everybody just forgot about that because of what he did during the second half of the season. Sorry, I've got my kids today. It's Thanksgiving. They're making some noise. But,
you're good, man.
It's all good.
But, yeah, I just think I was a little bit surprised, but I would safely project that I thought South Carolina's offense would be okay with Rasul Faison, who hasn't been a bust, but he hasn't been the guy that Gamecocks thought he would be. And then the offensive line, I did not expect it to be at times worse than it was last season.
So, Brad, I got a quick question for you along the offensive coordinator situation. This could be for any school in the SEC. It doesn't have to be South Carolina. But I've had these 3 questions in my mind that any head coach needs to ask themselves before they make a hire. And I'm just going to list them out. Would I fear this offensive coordinator on the opposite sideline from me? Would any other SEC head coach hire this guy to be their offensive coordinator? And am I ready to put my job on the line to hire this guy? And I think that if there's a no anywhere in there, you really have to put 100% conviction, and then you just pulled a Chad Morris like Dabo did to keep it in state. But thoughts on those questions, and how would you look at hiring offensive coordinator?
I'm going to add a 4th bullet point to that, Matt. I don't care what the guy I bring in is going to do as far as develop these guys into future NFL players. This is college football we're talking about. We're trying to make the playoff and compete for a national championship. What you do when you leave this university, that's good for a social media graphic. That don't help me now if I'm a head coach. So I'm finding a guy who's had success at the college level and has produced pass-happy stats. Or if I feel like my personnel's best in the backfield, I want to have a full 60-40, run-pass offense that has proven. But I'm not looking for a guy who has developed first-rounders. I mean, no one's talking about Wyoming's offensive coordinator from when they had Josh Allen. Josh Allen was just a freak, and their OC at the time did a good job of putting the ball in their best players' hands. When you have a transcendent talent like Lenora Sellers, you can't waste a season like South Carolina did this fall. You have to sort of take the reins off him and say, Lenora, go be you, and don't fit him into this pro-style offense that doesn't work for not just South Carolina, but you don't see many college football elite teams run pro-style whatsoever. It's spread them out and let your players make plays.
Well, it's funny, Brad, you say that because it's almost like a high school head coach's mentality.
Yeah.
Let me find the guy that can go get yards when there's nothing there. And, I don't care about anything else.
In high school, I'm putting my best 11 on defense, and I'm telling them to go make plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think JC says it all a lot. Fun and aggressive, creative, and fun.
Yeah.
Something that people want to be a part of.
Yep.
That's not. I mean, do you want to? If you're sitting at Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, the guy on your left is just negative about everything, and the guy on your right is just excited to be there and eat his meal. Which one do you want to be hanging out with? Right.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of where they are at this point in time. I just asked Garcia about this final one on Gamecock football here for you. I think there's something to be said for a guy like Lenoris Sellers playing in a game, like coming out of that slump buster game, hopefully against Coastal, and playing in a game where he was the hero last year. What do you think that means? Does that matter in this matchup this weekend that he was the star of this show in this rivalry game last year in the Upstate?
I think it does. And in last season's game, there were several non-designed plays for Lenoris that he just made plays. I mean, on 3rd and 17, when you shake off 2 sacks and score a touchdown, that's not on the OC. You think Dow Loggins dialed up the perfect play for that? No, that was the guy on the field making plays. We heard Lane Kiffin say last week even, I want to put my players in the spotlight. They're the ones that throw touchdown passes, make tackles, snare interceptions. Coaches don't do any of that. Why did Nick Saban win so many titles at Bama? Because he had 5 stars at every position. Nick Saban didn't throw a single touchdown pass over 12 seasons with the Crimson Tide. And I think Shane, he's been mad post-game for these offensive performances because he knows the Gamecocks have the players to win these games. They're just not doing it. They're handcuffed at times by the coaching staff. Obviously, that falls at Shane's feet. He's the one that has made these 4 OC hires. And to be honest with you, none of them have really appeased the fan base. I know there was a 9-win season, but like I said, Lenoris Sellers made a lot of plays during those final 6 games last year that bailed South Carolina out of some possible losses. So, but back to Lenoris, I think, if he beats Clemson, a lot of us forget about how bad this year was in Columbia.
I agree with that. You just laid out a bunch of truth bombs there. Well done, my friend. The college football playoff rankings came out last night.
Yeah.
Anything that caught you off guard?
Man, I'm not tooting my horn, but I've nailed this committee the last 3 or 4 weeks just on my top 25. They have pretty much been chalk. I'm surprised they moved Oregon ahead of Ole Miss. I thought that would happen next week after Lane takes the LSU job, which, by the way, I think it's either LSU for Lane Kiffin or he's staying at Ole Miss. There's no Florida. There's nothing else. That'll be announced Saturday. But
you think he takes the LSU job?
I do.
Why?
I do.
Because I don't think Lane Kiffin is convinced he can win a national championship in Oxford. Now, if I was Lane Kiffin, I would just use LSU as leverage and tell Ole Miss to match my salary, and I will stay in Oxford as long as you'll have me. But Lane wants to win a national championship. I don't think he will. He makes some boneheaded decisions sometimes in games, but I think he's going to LSU. But it would not surprise me if Ole Miss has been waiting to reveal after we beat Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. Yeah, Lane's staying, fellas.
Okay. So I tell you what we'll do is we'll get you back on after the CFP and all that stuff has been announced. If you be kind enough to squeeze in even 10 minutes or something like that, we'll try to figure that out.
I'll take 2 teams against the field right now. It's Ohio State and Notre Dame. Unfortunately, I think those 2 are going to face off in the second round.
So you're that high on Notre Dame?
I'm that high on Notre Dame. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Hey, Brad, real quick. Teams in the CFP right now, who do you say will not win a national championship? Cannot do it.
Alabama can't do it. Oklahoma can't do it. Oklahoma's offense has been horrid these last few weeks. They were outgained by Bama by 250 yards, and Ty Simpson turned it over 3 times. That's why OU won that game. I don't think Ole Miss can do it defensively. I think Georgia, Indiana, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. I'll take Texas Tech out of the mix, and I'll take Oregon out of the mix too.
Who represents the SEC in the SEC title game, and ultimately how many SEC teams get into the playoff?
I don't think we see any upsets during rivalry weekend within the SEC unless Mississippi State beats Ole Miss. I think Bama beats Auburn. They're in. I think Texas A&M beats Texas. It seems like everybody is taking the Longhorns. That's their sexy pick. Like we forgot how spotty Texas has been all season. I think A&M Bama is in the final, and A&M's 13-0 as the 2 seed heading into the playoff, and Bama at 10-3 overall will be the last team in.
Wow. Okay. Vanderbilt, if they win this weekend in Knoxville, they get left out at 10-2. Is that a logo on the chest thing or no?
They're 99% out regardless of what happens this weekend. Vandy needs 5 teams ahead of them to lose. Vandy right now has 0 ranked wins against teams currently in the playoff committee's top 25. You're not going to get there. But Diego Pavia is a Heisman finalist for sure.
He should be.
He should be.
He might be. I don't know if he's the best player, but he's definitely the most valuable player in college football. Brad, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. You do a wonderful job for so many folks that follow college football and sports in general. CBS, or who look to your coverage on CBS and things of that nature. But more importantly than all that, you're a good man and a good dad and a great husband. So thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, man. I hope y'all have just an incredibly blessed couple of days and then back to the grind on Black Friday.
Yeah, man, it's going to be hard for me with 2 TVs on for Carolina Clemson and the game Ohio State Michigan. I don't know why they have to always put my 2 favorite games at the same time.
That's the beauty of it. You as Shane Beamer says, you get to do that. Right. That's the beauty of it.
A lot of football coming up. Good to see y'all, JB and Matt.
Yeah, see you, Brad.
Thank you, brother. Happy Thanksgiving.
Too.
All right. Final thoughts here, Mad Dog, before we slip you out. Where's Phil? Phil?
Yeah,
Hello,
I'm
Phil.
back.
There he is.
There you go. It gets a little cluttered with 4 people, so I just kind of hide in the background.
That's all good. Final thoughts here, Matt, before we get you out of here, brother. I know we'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot tonight on Late Night Gamecock Show with Alex. I've crunched the numbers. I don't mind telling y'all that I do have a prediction. I think it's going to be 27-17 Gamecocks, and I feel really good about that, honestly. So if you're a betting person, if you think I have any idea what I'm doing, I would take the Gamecocks to cover that 3.5. And I think it's just going to be a really fun day in Williams-Brice on Saturday. It's going to be cold, like you mentioned, but I think that the Gamecocks will go out with the victory, and it's always great for Gamecock fans to get that win over Clemson.
You'll see Matt again in the preview show on Friday, in 2 days, for anybody wondering. Matt, happy Thanksgiving to you and your beautiful family, man. I hope you have an incredibly blessed and relaxing day, and can't wait to see you this weekend.
Absolutely. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.
Thank you, brother. Man. Mad Dog, any final Thanksgiving thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I just want to wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. We here at not only all the ITG, but Chief Sports just are really, I mean, we couldn't do any of this without you. So we are eternally grateful to everybody out here who consumes our content, listens, watches, the whole 9, interacts with us in the chat box. Just thank you to you all. Thank you to you all, and hope you all have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving tomorrow with your families.
Obviously, happy Thanksgiving to you and Dina and your daughters and your entire family. Thanks for all that you do, my dear friend, Mad Dog Mullinax. Look forward to seeing you at the Patrick Davis Show on Friday. Of course, I'll also see you on Friday morning during the preview show. But have a wonderful day and a blessed day tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving from the Bradford family, Carrie and Hannah and Riley, and our dog, Deweese, who will be waiting on the scraps. We can't, as Mad Dog said, I'll echo that. We can't thank all of you enough for making us who we are. It means the world to us to be able to come on every day and talk ball and all kinds of things with all of you. But people matter, and we hope that you and your families just have an amazing day and a very blessed day, and enjoy this time as much as you can, and get ready to go for Gamecock football this weekend, one final time against the Clemson Tigers in Williams-Brice Stadium. Until then, and for all of our guests who joined us today in this Thanksgiving special, we'll leave you with this. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you on Friday morning for the preview show.
Familiar highways, line with leaves turn brown, making my way
back into my hometown. Funny how this all looks different, but it feels the same. Like how life never stops changing, but some things never change. So fill your plate and fill your drink and fill this house with family, the kind of love that all these years can't wash away. Cause the older that I get, I see that life is short and bittersweet. Thank God for this Thanksgiving Day. Watching football, watching families grow. The old kids' table all have kids of their own. Starting to see my grandfather in my nephew's eyes. Mom still can't talk about him and I'd almost cry. So fill your plate and fill your drink and fill this house with family, the kind of love 1,000 miles can't wash away. Cause the older that I get, I see that life is short and bittersweet. Thank God for this Thanksgiving Day. So fill your plate and fill your drink, put your dishes in the kitchen sink and let the leftover year just wash away. Cause we made it through, I do believe, the longest year in history. Thank God that it's Thanksgiving Day.
All right.